Stream is rolling. Yes. Okay, so there should be the fucking foreground up, and bam, screen.
All right, well, we're immediately demonetized. Thanks, Lucky.
What'd I do?
You said the F word in the first 5 seconds.
Oh, well, whatever. I'm doing something new here, right? I'm working on things.
But I can't buy a new monitor if you keep doing things. Ooh, it's a nice setup. Let's see the preview. I've still got it muted, though.
Yep. Should have it muted.
Because we don't want to cause any accidentally audio. But I am now in the thing.
All right, cool.
Control room. We're going. So, I mean, this is your experiment. Do you want to explain it?
Yeah, so a couple days ago, Thursday, when it was usually going to be my stream day, I was basically all like, okay, I'm not going to stream. And I was thinking about it and whatnot. It's all like, what's up? I like doing what's up. I really, really do. But we don't get as much engagement on it as we do with Let's Talk FGO. For obvious reasons. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people who subscribe to this channel are here for that sweet, sweet FGO content. But at the same time, I kind of want to make our other things grow. We do a lot on this channel. Like, besides FGO, we have Star Wars APs, we have What's Up, and, just like streams and whatnot. Want to just generate that extra. So I got to thinking, usually streams do all right. And usually we do What's Up for several hours. So I'm like, all right, what if I just smash those two things together and see what comes of it? So basically I threw out a poll real quick. I was just like, all right, do you guys want to see maybe What's Up as a stream? Because as we discovered with Untitled Goose Game, I can just port Omega right through Discord into OBS. And, well, I'm not sure. Can everyone hear Omega okay? I don't know. It looks like there's only one person talking.
Can you hear me okay? There's some people in. So we got like 8 concurrent viewers.
All right.
They're usually shy, though, concurrent viewers.
Mm-hmm.
They won't come out of the woodwork, even if you directly challenge them a question.
Yeah. So, basically, the thing is we're going to do our usual What's Up, and now there's going to be a visual component in it, and this week's component is going to be Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. I got it. I was thinking about streaming it. It came Friday, so it was too late for Thursday, and I'm like, I'm not waiting till next Thursday because I'm probably gonna be streaming FGO then. So I'm all like, this would be the perfect opportunity. So first, I'm gonna download the update. Thanks.
And that's what happens.
That's what happens.
Well, now's a good time to talk about my end of the technicals because audio is still rolling, and that will still go out to patrons after this, and it'll be edited so that if we have any awkward pauses or we need to go take a bathroom break at like hour 2, that'll all be cut out. In the stream, you'll just have to look at the idle screen or whatever, because that's what happens. And for the moment, anyway, we're monetized. I could make an ad break happen right now. But patrons can also hang out in our recording channel if you want to listen to us that way. And just not deal with anything weird that goes on with YouTube. And so I think that's just kind of generally... Because I did my own informal flash poll yesterday before recording Let's Talk FGO, if the patrons are okay with us basically switching away one of their benefits, and everybody who responded, aka all who cared, that's right. If you don't respond, that means you don't care. Apathy is death. But they seemed okay with it, so we're going to try this new format. And so while Lucky is downloading an update, I will really quickly remind everybody that this is still brought to you by our patrons, like Adam DeHarp, Ahanga Comics, Architect 10, Blacklist G, Carlos Qua, Jeremy Vasquez, Kylie Denton, Legendary Boss Hunter, Liam Kessler, Rogue Robin, Shawnee P, some guy named Bob, Soda-san, 0424-723, and Zach Reed. If you like what we do, want to see more, consider supporting Patreon. Access to episodes early, and lots of other goodies, and it really helps us out.
Thank you. I don't know if that came up. It was funny. Omega started reading the Patreon, and I was like, "Oh shit, I don't have a monster." So if you heard the clatter in the background, that was Lucky doing a mad Scrabble for his mini fridge. All right, bud.
And just to let everybody know, if I ever get quiet or seem to be not liking a chat, I have the YouTube control panel out right now. It's because I'm trying to play Genshin because the next chunk of the quest has come out.
Oh yeah. All right, but so where do we want to start? Well, I'm gonna start by hitting A, and we're gonna.
It's a good start.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know. We got a few different things.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky has already pre-titled this episode, and I slammed together a thumbnail.
Yep.
Last night. we have a couple different things. Well, we have a chat now. I don't know if we'll get a lot of people in, but we can ask them. What do you guys want us to talk about first?
Yeah.
Because the nominees for the Game Awards came out. Pretty interesting list. We could talk about that and possibly yell.
Yeah.
I can continue talking about my PS5 adventures because speaking of streams, I did stream Spider-Man Remastered earlier this week because the Magical Amazon Fairies did deliver me my copy of Spider-Man Miles Morales Ultimate Edition a day early. I originally thought I was going to miss that for the stream time, but did not.
Thanks, Amazon
So I
Fairies.
got to try that. Magic.
Magic.
We could talk about our usual gacha course, of course.
I am a little excited to talk about Azuru Lane, specifically what's coming up in Azuru Lane.
Yeah,
Spicy.
I know. You and some other people are very excited about that.
Very excited. Oh.
And then I don't know. I feel like I had something else. What was it? Spider-Man, Game Awards, Gotcha.
Let's see. The Dragoon says Game Awards are gotcha. Well, we can start with gotcha, I think. We usually talk a fair bit about gotcha.
It's true. And I, at least historically, not that it's in the title of this episode, but episodes that were titled about gotcha games would draw in more views. Because that is something we do know about our audience because we have a community. That a fair number of people play other games and they follow them. So we can start on that topic. I mean, like I said earlier, I'm playing Genshin right now. Right now, this is the first time I've ever met Mona in a story, and I noticed that the camera artist always does low angle from behind shots.
Yeah, no, I have definitely realized now there is a distinct reason why all the Mona art just focuses on that butt.
Yeah, it's because that's what the game does.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, no, that's fair. That's fair. I'm a tiny bot. Sorry, like I said, we're just watching the opening cinematic to Age of Calamity, and shit's happening. A lot of power. A lot of power's going on. I love it. But, so, Genshin Impact has their... I guess I want to say their first real event going on right now. What is it called again? Heck.
I'll pull it up right now.
Yeah, please.
As if the... This is a minor amount of beef with Genshin, but I've noticed that the at least on PS4, still not playing it on PS5, still have no answers. Nobody can tell me if your stuff ports over. Apparently, and I've Googled it before. It's really annoying. I don't want to take too many cracks at quote unquote games journalism, but I am very disappointed in the quality of articles about things. Like, I did a lot of Googling about trying to find specific instructions on how to get fischl. There are none. There are big websites like Forbes, which are like, oh, there's a new event in Genshin, you can get a free fischl. They don't know jack shit about anything. So I'm like, okay, great, thanks, guys. But the event is called Unreconciled Stars.
That's what it was. I don't think has the third part come out yet? I've only gone
No, it unlocks in one day.
I'm pretty sure that's when the fucking...
Is that right?
That's when...
I thought it wasn't until the 23rd, but maybe I'm on the wrong time zone.
But I'm pretty sure whenever that happens, then the magical way to unlock fischl will occur.
I mean, in a sense, yeah, because one of her requirements is complete Star of Destiny, which is the quest for the third part.
Yeah.
But I have no idea what Fallen Star Challenge and Meteorite Remains Salvage Challenge are, because I don't think any of the things in this are labeled that, is my problem. I'm like looking at all the stuff, I'm like, okay, so if I tap down for Meteoric Wave, I can look at that, and then if I click on Star of Deceitful Dreams, that talks about the salvages, so maybe that's that, but it's like, it's very unclear. I will continue to work, though, and if we get to the last bit, I can always yell at Discord.
Yeah.
Discord, how do I do thing?
Explain!
Me and baby, please help.
Yeah, let's see.
Teach me like I'm 5.
Yeah, that's That's the thing that I've always heard about explaining things. If you can't explain something and have a 5-year-old get it, you're not explaining it that well.
Yeah, that's a subreddit, I think, that came out after kind of this became a meme. Explain like I'm 5.
Mm-hmm.
And it's there's definitely something to be said for that quality of just like, hey, are you able to explain this in a concise version where somebody who only barely understands language follow it?
All right, I gotta give things a stab. Yeah.
So I think talked to Mona and she's marked all the challenges I can do. I think. They're doing a lot of interesting stuff with their world map. It's just very, at the moment, well, not very, it's a little unintuitive.
Yeah.
Like, you have to, like, activate menus within menus to get things highlighted, and then, God forbid, you click off somewhere, you'll go do something else. Do I still have these highlighted if I fast travel? If I don't, that's going to be really annoying.
Yeah.
It's a whole big thing. But it's, you know, free official, she's supposed to be a super level whatever.
Yeah, no, she's real loved. Unfortunately, I haven't put a lot of effort into developing her because I left my Amber, and I also got Diona. So I have fire and ice. Oh, here comes more. But oh, the actually, I know you've been doing the event. Have you progressed in the story anymore?
Sadly, no, because of the event. And like I said, I've been very busy. I had to cram the last couple days in the FGO event to round that out because, you know, it was approaching the limit, and I have not had a lot of time because I've been trying to do lots of other things. Very busy with lots of other stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Actually, another thing, I don't know if this was the third thing I was thinking about, but another thing we can talk about is Civ.
Oh, that's very true. We can talk a lot about
because we're also, that'll be a story for next week, but we're planning on doing some multiplayer Civ after this.
Yep.
I'll probably need to grab some food after the recording, but
yeah,
since Lucky is doing this in live stream form, the only thing I have to do with the audio that I'm rolling is just run that through and edit really quick. So long as I don't get distracted and the thumbnail's already made, it shouldn't take that long to edit and export.
Yeah. Yeah, and tomorrow we might just be like, hey, if you're curious about what happened to What's Up, link to stream.
Yeah, that'll be a good way to get it, because that's usually the day it's posted.
Yeah. Oh, this fucker just kicked me in the face. Fuck you. So what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so talking about Genshin Impact story, they actually finished the second, well, I guess you can call it chapter 1, because technically Mondstadt's the prologue.
Yeah, technically that was the prologue.
But so they actually did finish it out. There's a bitchin'. It's actually pretty fucking awesome. Like I'm kind of excited for whenever you get to go. Whenever you reach it, because it's fun. I will warn you though. It's a boss. It's not, well, not a boss rush. It's you haven't even seen my final form. So
that's okay. I have a very high leveled, very high constellation. C is how I usually see people refer to it. Barbara. I will live through anything.
That's
I
me.
cannot be killed.
That's my Chi-Chi. It's like, yes, I will pop this, and all I have to do is hit you and heal. Things are great. Oh, yeah, actually, no, we'll go this way. Man, playing this game, I don't know if it's me or my... Oh, shit. If it's like this, but I feel like this frame rate's a little bit slower than I'd like. Lucky's not using...
I mean, I don't know.
Lucky's not usually not someone to be like, 4K 60 FPS, but this is feeling a little
I mean, that is a thing that I believe happens sometimes with I assume you're in docked mode, right?
Yeah.
Because you're streaming?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Switch isn't a powerhouse. You might have some things going on.
Yeah.
But,
I don't know, maybe I have to figure out something later. I don't know. But I hope it all looks good for you out there.
I mean, I'm watching our preview, and at the very least, it's not like laggy or anything in the video. You know, we've got the overlay, and it looks like I can follow all the action going on. Super jelly, by the way. Did not realize that. I knew it was coming out this year, but I did not realize it was so soon. And
Oh, like fun fact, like I knew it was coming out this month, but I actually kind of forgot when. But I only ordered it like 3 days before it came out. Shout out to Amazon for at least having a copy nearby, ready for reserve.
Yeah, I love when that happens. Because I got a few things. Cyberpunk obviously is next month.
Mm-hmm.
I swear to God, Cyberpunk, if you fuck me again. But also neither of us have this one yet. But Kingdom Hearts Memory of Melody came out.
Yes.
The rhythm game that includes more story, but also will feature a lot of music from the game, which is super exciting to me because
music is great, yo.
Yeah, the music is really great, and like I said, I said this on Let's Talk yesterday. I have a very strong relationship with video game music, and like that has always gotten a really good emotional response from me because I don't know. I guess it's because I like connect in my mind the music to the moments, which are interactive. It sticks a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in checking that one out.
What other game? No, I think actually for right now it's just Cyberpunk that I am waiting on now. Because honestly, aside from that, I like gacha games have my full attention. Like I got up like because I work now. I try to keep my schedule mostly on point, I should say, because trying to constantly reset my sleep schedule is a goddamn pain in the ass.
Yeah, it is. That is correct.
So, I usually still try to go to bed, like, even, like, on my usual days, on my work days, I'm usually in bed, like, 11:30, I wake up at, like, 6 o'clock. On weekends, I usually go to bed around, like, 12 or midnight and get up at 8. So I got up at 8, and from 8 to noon, I was doing nothing but playing gacha games, getting caught up on everything, just being like, all right, I got this, knock this out,
That's a good one.
knock this out. So I'll go... Hello, I am friend. Sorry, I'm looking at looking at stream. So I start. Oh, no, I must protect this thing. Oh,
you must protect.
Is that Impa? Yeah. Yes, I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna be playing her so much. I fucking. Oh no, she's cute. Oh, it's the Sheikah Slate. So. Let's see, I think I started with Arknights today because before today, I have not touched Contingency Contract. I know some people are like, they live and die by Contingency Contract. It's literally the meme of, so what happens when Contingency Contract ends? We wait for the next Contingency Contract.
We have a lot of those people in our Discord.
Yeah.
Spoilers, Lucky and I are not those people.
We are not. Oh.
I really have not. I've done my daily Annihilation runs, but that is the unfortunate thing, and I knew this would happen if I switched Arknights to my computer, is, especially with, like, CC, like, through the last season, I would just literally, like, pull it up on my phone as I lay in bed and did other stuff, and, like, do at least the low level, like, the first or second step at night every day. I don't do that anymore, because I can't lay in bed and do it. It's on my PC now because of BlueStacks.
Good job, BlueStacks. I love this thing.
So,
no, I'm gonna need a figure of this.
But yeah, I have a little
new friend.
You have an adorable little good guardian.
This is what I needed in life. I did not know this until today. But so I started with Arknights, and Arknights is doing Contingency Contract. I think they. Oh yeah. I said I started it. I'm probably. See, here's the problem. Like this ain't against Arknights and its system, and it's not against other players. Let me just say this right now. But the new medal system is actually giving me a little bit of agita. The new wait, am I pushing the wrong button? R and then Y? Wait, that's L. Oh, okay. That's pretty awesome. Because basically now they have a tracker for basically how well you do in this form of medals. And I was busting my ass, and I was able to get the lowest level medal of trainee. And I'm just like, I've been seeing people post about getting their SSS medals. And I'm like, I'm probably not gonna get that. And I don't want to say it like makes it sound like I'm bitter, but it's just kind of one of those things of like, actually no, I take that back. I am totally fucking bitter.
Yeah, no, and I am like, I haven't looked at all and I don't care. But like, I could definitely see the idea of like seeing people post and being like, yeah, I mean, I have to do other shit in my life. There's no way that I'm going to be that all pro or whatever at Arknights that I get like the best medal. I just don't care that much.
Yeah,
so it's kind of like good for those people, but also, you know, there's a little bit of pain.
Oh,
tiny amount of pain, Pekko.
Yep, tiny amount of pain. That exploded. But from what I understand, so like I don't know, contingency contract is real good. Like oh, R yellow. Okay, there. Oh, that's right. That's because I'm pushing the wrong damn button. I keep forgetting that R and ZR is different things. I keep going for triggers.
It's not exactly the best named system, Nintendo.
But with Arknights, I'm like, I love doing story, and I love like when events come out. Like, I didn't do like super great on the medals in Twilight of Odometer, but that didn't bug me as much. It really didn't.
No, the thing that bugged us both was the fact that you had to do like weird specific challenge shit and do hard mode to get more story.
Yeah. You know, and if I actually honestly fucking sat down, I probably could have figured it out. But for contingency contract, I know for a fucking fact I won't be able to fucking do it because that is a system that definitely rewards the elites, I guess I should say. And honest, as I said, again, I can't actually say that's a bad thing. Stop hitting. I just cut down that tree. Fuck that tree. I can't say that's a bad thing because, as I said, you should reward players who do put in that extra effort, but at the same time, it's just like, as I said, I'm kind of bitter. But I'm gonna try and get at least through get some good stuff because there is a costume in the shop and other goodies. And who knows? I probably won't get the triple S medal, but I'll see if I can at least get up to double S.
Sorry, I'm actively playing Genshin right now, and I'm reminded of the one thing I actively dislike about Genshin is everything you do takes hit stun, enemies fucking don't. So you constantly are getting your ass slapped, and you can't do fucking anything. Like, I'm getting fucking juggled by some scrub lords. Just because
oh my God.
It doesn't matter how high level you are, you just... Oh no, a big man punched you. Flinch. Oh no, a big man punched you. Flinch. Oh no, his friend shot you. Flinch. Just like... Alright, game, can I hit people? Am I allowed to play the game? Fuck it, I'm gonna drop a tornado on all of you. Get out of here. And yes, I'm still playing with the Animo build for the Traveler, because it's... Geo's cool, the Elemental Burst or whatever, your super is... The Tornado's way better. But seriously, like, there's this asshole, he's literally not flinching, he kicked me in the face. I hate it.
Yeah, it's pretty... it's a little wild.
There's, as a general commentary on the action RPG genre, there is a careful balance between the amount of responsiveness the PCs and NPCs take, right? Like, you need to mix that certain amount of, well, do enemies get flinch or hit stun or whatever? Does the PC, like, can you be broken out of a combo by a particularly nasty move? And I feel like every move enemies do in Genshin will break you out of a combo or something, and I'm like, I don't feel like the way you've built this game, that's necessarily a good thing, guys. Because it's not like there's a real big, like, zone or terrain control or anything. Like, yeah, you do have AoE attacks and stuff, but it's not like I can, like, truly manipulate people. Maybe I just need different units that are leveled. Like, I know Beidou can, like, counter and do stuff.
Hang on one second.
I'm literally running. I'm doing the fucking Monty Python defense. I'm literally running in circles and shooting at guys so they don't kick me or something. Okay.
All right, I'm back.
No. Switch to Null and do big sword. Because if the shield is up, that's kind of like a protection.
Oh, what the fuck? Do I get to just clone myself? Oh,
yeah,
no.
you're gonna use those secret Sheikah techniques.
I am using those secrets. Oh wait, let's see here. So then I throw bombs, and I just.
And I will say, I'm not looking at chat right now, but I'm at some point going to tab over there, and it's entirely possible that people in chat will be like, "Oh, just do this, or just do that." I don't in general, that's the part I always like least about our community talking about gacha games is you will say anything, and people will be like, "Oh, just do blah blah blah," and I'd be like, "But I didn't, so suck it." Like, what? You want me to fucking go back in time? I can't do that. And I think we've been talking about this. Like, I've seen a decent number of people. I guess complaining is the word. Like, people just talking about how it is truly really hard to get new units up in Genshin.
Yeah.
And, like, try new people. That is definitely a thing.
Honestly, I really wish there was a way that you can reset characters level 1 and get back the materials you put into them. Like, I know that might be a little counterproductive, but, like, as I said, like, I have gone down and actually picked, like, the 10 characters that I'm like, alright, these are the ones I'm gonna fucking focus on. But, like, I said, now there's, like, I still have, like, several other characters that are just gonna sit at, like, level 60 fucking forever until I get done with these other characters. Because, I actually checked this earlier. Lucky has 21 characters. And I've tried them all in some capacity and whatnot, and I'm just all like, okay.
Yeah. Because that is a positive. They have a very robust trial system.
Yes.
Very easy to try out new units.
So, I'm just a bit like, if I just had all that EXP and Mora and other cool stuff I put in these bags.
Yeah, especially those EXPs.
Mm-hmm. Like, here's one of my big complaints about Genshin. Actually, defeating enemies gives you jack shit for XP. I don't know why they still have this in here.
Yeah, I mean, enemies will drop mats usually, which is the more important thing. But even then, that's like for the really big mats, you need to fight special bosses, so it doesn't usually matter. Like I know you can combine stuff to higher tiers too, so it's like it's not very important overall. Like I feel like Genshin has a fast, I don't know if I'd call it a drop off, maybe a climb, where like you start playing the game, okay, everything's fine. Oh, you can just find all the shit here. You get easy for level rewards. Your adventure rank's going up all the time. Then you go to like your first world level up, and you're like, oh man, I've really plateaued because boy, if I need to catch up my new people, I have to use a lot of resources and go very far. So it's interesting. I still like the game enough to like I said, because I have to switch over to my PS4. I still like the game enough to actually put in the time. You know, I'm playing it right now, but it's been out long enough, I think, that we can notice what we don't like about it. You know, what some might call flaws, and just be like, yeah, I'm not too keen on this part. And the game is still pretty new. Like, I don't even know, did we get was it a full-blown simultaneous release?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the game's not very old, period. We thought Arknights was like baby game because it was like 6 months ahead or whatever.
Yeah, no. We got a worldwide release. There was a couple closed betas, or maybe even open betas. I don't remember, but I think that was about it.
So yeah, like they did their round of beta, obviously. You know, pretty important to do in general. But now it's out, and like I said, the game is baby basically.
Honestly,
and I'm like, that's okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Also, give orders.
Are you gonna call some allies over there, Chief?
Oh yeah, I can tell them to go places. Nice. This pleases Lucky. All right, so I'm gonna tell Link to go take out this dude. Maybe. Can I do that in the
somebody in chat asked about me doing more storytime stuff. I assume you mean like the HP Lovecraft reads and whatnot. Actually, I did think about this last time. I don't know if I'll do it now because it's out of season. But I do have the King in Yellow collection, the actual book King in Yellow by Robert Chambers, with the short story collection. I am interested in looking those over and seeing if any of those can be concisely read. The reason why I stopped, other than that it made a perfect 5-night series, the reason why I stopped doing HBL ones is because I burned through most of his early short stories, some of which were like a page long, and then got into the shit that's like short novella form almost. But yeah, I have thoughts and feelings. But okay, so we were talking about Genshin. You talked about Arknights. I have nothing to talk about Arknights right now.
Yeah, no.
Azure Lane is not yet doing the thing, but if you want to talk about the thing they're gonna do, now might be a good time.
Actually, I'll switch over to Destiny Child because I can go through that real quick.
Okay, fair enough.
So Destiny Child is doing their new event.
I've noticed some people posting about getting some new things.
Yep. They have one of my new favorite characters. Well, she's not my new favorite character, but I love her a lot. How do you pronounce her fucking name? I don't fucking know. But basically, she's a girl in fucking hot pants, a bikini top, and a parka jacket who runs around in the winter. I'm all like, this is highly impractical, but goddamn do I love it because she's thick. But like I said, we're back to world fighting a world boss. Lucky can say he finally reached a benchmark. He was actually able to do 2 million in one go, which is actually a benchmark for a mission reward, which means it's easier to get the thing. Because as I said, Destiny's Child is really, really generous with things. I just hate Fireball. As long as you put at least a good amount of effort into the game, you'll just get like the latest you'll just get the good units. They have, like I said, they're crazy good with giving out just free crystal. All of them have a pity system. Basically, every time a new unit comes out, they have their own personal banner where they are literally the only SSR on that banner, the only one. And recently, they just came out with a thing that if you roll on that banner 15 times and don't get the unit, they'll just fucking give it to you. So,
that's pretty good.
Yeah. So, like I said, so usually as long as you play daily, every few days you'll get enough for a 10 spin, and then so I was able to get a couple of the new units. I got a free unit from the raid boss already. I was like, all right, cool, perfect, and things going well. I really enjoy the game. It's again, I mentioned this many times before, but Destiny's Child is that game there. I'm just I came here because things are lewd. I say things because this is actually kind of fun.
Because hey, it's a whole series. We've tried it a wide variety, over the years, and some of them stick and some of them don't.
Yeah.
And it's always good when you find that thing that you're like, nah, I don't really want to give it up. It's good.
I do keep giving that eye to Last Origin, though. I'm all like,
Last Origin, the horniest game.
It is the horniest game. Oh, of course it is. No, I got poop. Can never escape it. Alright, let's see here. So if I can send a link to go do shit. Whoops. Let's see, how does it... Okay, that's what I do. I gotta go order. And then I order them here. Okay. So because apparently you can also because Destiny Child switched to Tap, which is basically a Korean game platform, game manager, and they have the Japanese version of Last Origin on there. So I was all like, because I switched to the Tap version because the Tap version of Destiny Child is the uncensored version, which means there's a lot more titty and butt going around, which Lucky is always for. So I keep giving it the app. I'm like, no, I'm barely holding on as is with my gacha games as is. I can't add another one. I have to keep telling myself that too, because Lucky does not have the highest will, unfortunately. At one point, I'm just gonna be all like, yeah, let's just do it, and then it's all like, and dead.
And this man has died.
I'm mad, though, because they keep showing me this character of this fucking cat ear girl with the giantest tits. I'm all like...
Yeah, no, that's a popular one.
Yeah.
The other one is the... Well, there's a couple, I think, that have bridal designs.
Oh, yeah.
Super popular. And also, like we said, it's super horny on main.
Super horny on main.
There are official assets in the uncensored version of the game that are just... They're naked. They don't really go show you full detail, but still they're just fucking naked.
Mm-hmm.
All right, okay. This is a game for phones that hypothetically you might have your phone with you in public. I don't know. But now that I know what the gameplay of Last Origin is like, anyway, does anybody know? It's a mystery to me. Nobody ever talks about that part. I don't think I've seen a lot of images or anything of people posting like screens or whatnot of gameplay.
I think it's supposed to be like a tactical RPG, I want to say.
See, like gameplay-wise, that sounds like it suits me.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so
I'm too busy with other stuff already.
Okay, so this is Sheikah Slate. I have to remember that.
Another thing in general, this is just a general complaint about action games that involve giant mook melees. Guys, game developers out there, God invented lock-on for a reason. I had this slight question sometimes in Ghost of Tsushima, where it was hard to like keep your focus on one guy unless you were always actively pressing in his direction. But sometimes you don't want to do that. Thinking about it, Genshin doesn't do that either. It's very hard to like because all your abilities are like semi-free aim. I can't tell you the amount of times I've like whiffed a tornado.
Oh no, I think the worst time is when I go to do a tornado and I just turn like 90 degrees to the left because there's an enemy to my left over there. I'm like, why?
No, that's not where I wanted to put that. Yeah. And I'll talk more about Spiderman, but that's the thing I've noticed is that Mr. Spiderman does not do traditional style like click lock on either. That's not as big of a deal, but it's still a little bit where I'm like, okay, there's like 50 billion guys in here. I'd really like, Spidey, if you would stop accidentally targeting the guy who's like behind me and to the left that I don't care about yet.
Mm-hmm.
What
do you mean?
And I'm sure it's
is my
because I like
reward?
rolled the camera or like rolled the stick in a direction, but it's like, God, I wish I could just click a stick and be like, that guy, fuck that guy in particular. But anyway.
Yeah, so
okay, so that was Destiny's Child.
That was Destiny's Child. So Azure Lane, they're still doing.
Well, so before you start anything, I want to say, Lucky, you can talk about Azure Lane in the thing. I am gonna go pee really quick.
Oh, okay.
But there's no reason to pause the stream because you're still doing the thing. So you can talk about.
I'll talk about that Azure Lane. It's a club. So Azure Lane, they're still in the middle of their little mini event. I have totally forgotten the name of it, mostly because I really don't care about it. It's not Iron Blood and it's not Soccer Empire. So I'm just like, meh. Listen, there are way too many ships and way too many girls. I can't. Oh, so this is my red girl. Okay, cool. For me to just to focus on them all. So to save myself time and sanity, I've decided to just go with, you know, Iron Blood and Sakura ships and just rep them all day. But apparently worldwide, Azure Lane has been dropping that they're going to be doing a collab. They're going to be doing a collab with Dead or Alive Extreme Venus Vacation, which I personally find hilarious because I just got done in Destiny Child. This is why I wanted to mention it. I just got done with their collab, or Dead or Alive Extreme Venus Vacation. So I'm just all like, yes, good. This is a lot of stuff. This is super fucking. This reminds me so much of Breath of the Wild in places. Excuse me. Yes, too much ships, too little space. So
I'm back, by the way.
Yeah, we can tell.
I came back right at that right moment.
But so they've already previewed a few ships. The one I am seriously the most excited for is Nyotengu.
You and a lot of people.
Yeah, Nyotengu's great. I'm super excited. I'm glad that they kept their wings in too. Like, yes, perf. And let's see. Oh, they've also shown Marie Rose, Honoka, and one other. Was it Chitose? I can't remember.
I'm sure I can pick it up.
I mean, like, I don't know how many they're gonna have. Usually, I'm kind of expecting them to pop out Kasumi and Ayane because they're kind of classics.
Yeah, Tengu, Monica, Mary Rose, Honoka, and
it must have been Monica.
Nagisa.
Nagisa. Okay, that's the one I was thinking of.
I think that's all the. Yeah,
Take
that's
a knee,
all the last
motherfucker.
news on that.
Whoa.
Collab ships are usually their own faction, I believe.
Yeah, that's the way it was with Kizuna Eye and Hololive.
Hololive Collab 2 win.
Actually, that'd be
Maybe
really...
this time I'll actually give a shit. I mean, it's really funny because when that happened, we've talked about this before. When that happened, none of us knew what Hololive was over here. Like it was still, I don't know what generation they were on, but it was still kind of smaller, and they had not yet begun popping off into the Western space as much. So it was a very big, like, literally, who is this? And now it's very funny because Hololive is really blown up, and we have a lot of big Hololive stands in the squad. We've got some simps and some shrimps.
Shrimps.
Yeah, so that's what Gura calls them. So it's very funny that a lot of people are now sassy that they're like, oh, well, I didn't play AO when that happened, so they've missed out because collabs are never rerun. But if they did a second part collab, they could probably rerun the ships.
Yeah, they probably did. I mean, that's what they did with the Mew event.
Yeah,
they put them in them, and although you kind of died.
Yeah, I did not get a lot of new ships on that. I got super hard fucked by Azure Lane just being like, here's another Cleveland. Here's another one. I'm like, I've got this already. Why? Why are you hurting me? I'm dying.
He's dying.
Okay, game, don't yell at me for not being in the meteorite remains, okay? I got pushed out because of these fucking mobs you put here, okay? Don't you fucking sass me. That's the one thing, that's a general game design thing I don't like, when the game yells at you for like, oh my god, you're not doing the thing. What are you doing? I'm like, game, do you think if I could be doing the thing right now, I wouldn't? I understand how this works. It's not like I got bored and wandered out of the strike zone. You pushed me out, game. Why are you yelling at me? I get the logic. It's just so annoying sometimes to be like, okay, guys, come on.
Yes, Link, go sit in the fucking tower.
But yeah, so we were talking about the Azure Lane.
Yeah, so I'm so I'm super excited for that. I have like 100 and something cubes. I'm hoping it's gonna be enough. I'm curious.
I don't have that many cubes, but also I'll be real. I'm glad a lot of people are excited for this. I've never really gotten into Dead or Alive. I don't know who like literally half these characters are, so I'm like, that's cool, whatever. Good for them.
Like I think I mentioned this before. Like Dead or Alive is my preferred 3D fighter. Like I've been playing
you're a big Dead or Alive guy.
Yeah. Honestly, to the point where I've seen these collabs, I'm like, this is a sign. I need to get back into Dead or Alive. I was actually in my fucking save for later list is like Extreme Venus Vacation 5 and 6. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get these later.
I was always a Soul Calibur guy, but I have not played in a few editions.
Oh, I got a bonus weapon. I got a training sword. I'm gonna boot people's snoot with this. So. Oh. Road to the Ancient. Oh, I can do stuff. Neat. Oh, what? It's cute. So. Okay, talking about Azure Lane, I'm sorry. Yeah, I got.
You're also playing the game. This is the world we live in. We're doing a live stream. Lucky's doing a thing directly.
Yes.
You can see it on screen, so there's going to be some bouncing back and forth of the interactivity.
Yeah. Let's see here. Supply materials. Oh, okay. Sorry, I've been drinking his Monster, and the carbonation's now getting to me, so I'm just like, oh, there it goes.
Yeah.
I apologize. So Azure Lane's going down. I got like 100 and something cubes for it. I'm hoping it's gonna be enough. They haven't explained which are gonna be on banner and which is gonna be like in stores or thing. Because that's the thing.
They've just been. There's a maintenance coming up. The event will come up. Here are the new ships.
Yeah.
We're not at the details phase yet.
Yeah, because usually they have one in store, one in a points ladder.
Yeah, teleport straight to Mona. That's convenient.
Yeah, one in that, and then they have like, they usually have like 3 to 5 in the banner.
Yeah, usually there's some doubling up.
Yeah. So usually
like
there's about like,
if you get lucky with the banner, you can usually like ignore maybe one of the store units or the like ultimate point ladder super unit or whatever. Or alternatively, you get completely fucked by the banner and are like, well, at least I can get blah-de-blah.
So, yeah, so I'm excited because I'm assuming there's probably going to be at least like 6 ships.
Sorry, I just watched you and they popped up the map thing. I'm just like, man,
Yeah, no, this is
been
big.
a few years, but I'm like, yeah, that's a good feel. It's been a while since I looked at that map.
Yeah, it's a big Breath of the Wild feel. So, oh, now what? Can I do that one? No, I can't. But so I'm assuming there's gonna be 6, and so I'm still hoping that Kasumi shows up. Kasumi, I mained Kasumi for like a long fucking time.
I mean, obviously I know that Nyotengu is very popular because I've seen it with our community, but those like Kasumi and Ayane are like some of the characters I recognize.
Yeah.
As a dirty casual. Like, no, when I think Dead or Alive stuff, I usually think of them, and there's a couple others. So it's like, okay, all right.
Where's my?
We'll see.
If there was guys, I'd be screaming for Hayabusa because motherfucking Ninja Gaiden. But that's not how
Azure Lane do.
That's not how Azure Lane do. Architect says he thinks there was a glimpse of Kasumi in the trainer. Probably. Possibly. So.
Hey, apparently they're doing a Nio collection for PS5.
Ooh, a Nio collection.
1 and 2. Now that'll be the full 70 because it's 2 games, but like honestly, I'm okay so far with the price point. Where like I paid $70 for the Ultimate Edition of Miles Morales, but that's because they basically tacked on the price of Spider-Man Remastered.
Yeah.
So like that's okay. Like I understand the pricing. And I'll probably just skip straight to buying the PS5 version of Watch Dogs Legion when it comes out because Amazon is already dropping the price.
Man, if they have a Neo collection on PS5, I might hold off then. Because I really did like Neo. I put a fuck ton of hours in. I never finished the DLC. I still... Because I said it was getting hard.
What the heck is Scarlet Nexus?
Isn't that an Xbox thing?
Scarlet Nexus? No.
No?
PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X. Don't know. Bandai Namco. Don't remember that at all.
Who's these nameless guards? Get out of here. Scrubs?
Oh, by the way, I don't suppose they've announced a... Okay, so there's still an Ultimate Edition of Control. It'll play fine on the good old PS5, right?
It should.
Probably put that on a list. Because that was my concern. I really wanted to play Control, but I heard a lot of people say it chugged on vanilla PS4s, and I was like, that's me though. But now that basically, at least for the 4 to 5, everything is basically backwards compatible. That's definitely a big thing I can go for.
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay, well, Amazon, since you've told me about it, Amazon's like, these items are frequently bought together. I'm like, I bet they aren't, but it's advertising to me Age of Calamity. I'm like, okay, I'll go put that on the Switch list. I have a lot of wish lists. I officially have a PS5 list now. It only has Demon Souls. Just because I'll play it.
Oh, shit!
Maybe I'll wait for a price drop from Amazon before I'll play it, but I'll play it. Just because a lot of people are raving about how good it was. And I don't know, I was like 13, 14 when the first one came out. I don't know. It might be better to go back.
Maybe.
It looks real good. And I got Sackboy and I got Watch Dogs in there.
Let's see here. I'm trying to think. Yeah. Well, talking about that, I think that's pretty much done with gacha then, unless I forgot one.
Yeah, no, I think we mentioned everything.
Yeah.
It's really the only thing. We were holding out to do the Azure Lane thing. Okay.
Yeah. So speaking about games, did I ever tell did I tell people about how much money I fucking spent to get a game?
Oh no, I don't think the auction thing. No, I don't think you talked about that. You said it on Twitter and I think in the Discord, but I don't think that came up in a show.
Okay,
we got a little scatterbrained last week. Not that we're gonna do like a full discussion on it because I think we gave our opinion already, but they did actually announce they're planning a Mass Effect trilogy.
Yeah,
which was very funny because the week before they announced it, we were like, I hope they do that, and then they did it, and we said nothing.
Yeah,
we're such ditzes.
We are. So I guess I mentioned this before. I work at Goodwill, and I see crazy shit moving through all the time, and people kind of think like, oh, it's Goodwill, it's just that, that stuff that you see in stores. And no, trust me, the good stuff, all this good stuff that Goodwill has, it's sold online because that way it reaches more people and all that. So I've recently, because my dream is to have the library of video games, the library of manga, light novels, all that stuff. And so
You want to be angry video game nerd or game grumps and have the shelf full of games.
yeah. So I've been keeping an eye out for old games that were important to me as a youth. Not collecting everything I can, just the things that are important. Unfortunately, with Goodwill, how they usually tend to sell video games is in bundles of 3 to.
Well, yeah, because I assume what happens is they get the collections in lots. So.
Yeah. So, I usually go it's actually funny. My job, they're real laid back. As long as the job gets done, they don't really necessarily mind if I futz about a little bit here and there. So, I'm not going on Twitter or anything while on the job, but I definitely do use my computer just to go look on Amazon and the auction site itself, just to look at things for a while. Because, as I said, my job is to list things, so, and I have, it's not a required amount, but the recommended amount is for me to do 50 a day. On occasion, I can have that done, 3 hours before
quitting time.
Before quitting time, so I'm like, alright, well, I don't necessarily have a lot to do, so I'm just gonna...
How was I frozen? I was standing in the middle of grass on fire.
That was awesome. So, well, the whole point is I see some things, and now one of the game series of my youth was Xenosaga. The follow-up to Xenoblade. Oh wait, this guy needs a bomb. This guy needs a bomb. He needs a bomb. There we go. On the PlayStation, and this is before X and fucking Xenoblade Chronicles and all that. This was on the PS2. Had 3 games: Xenosaga 1, Xenosaga 2, Xenosaga 3. Xenosaga 1 and Xenosaga 2 you can find pretty simple. They're not that expensive. Xenosaga 3, for some ungodly reason that I don't know of, is super fucking expensive. Go on
There's probably a story there.
Yeah, there's probably a story there, but I don't know it. You can go on Amazon and used copies run about $200. And I'm just like, geez.
So this is just in general. This is a really interesting thing I think about because I've gotten back into Yu-Gi-Oh lately, and pricing for stuff is interesting. Because on the one hand, there's how much are people willing to pay, and some people are animals and are like, I don't understand how supply and demands works. I'll pay $1,000 for that card. And I'm like, you really shouldn't though. But it's interesting to see the price fluctuations, kind of based. I assume it's based mostly on your expected rate of purchase. If you're supposed to get a card, at least one of a card in a box, it should probably be worth the price of that box. Basically, how many cards you're expected to have to open to get it.
Yeah.
Right. That's probably a decent logical price point.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's short printings or unusual rarities or whatever, or just shit that's not printed in that rarity anymore, and those can get pretty weird. So I'm gonna guess there's probably some weird story with Xenosaga 3 about why it's super rare and expensive.
Architects S3 had Architects S3 had the fewest number of copies made, so it's the most rare. And I can believe that.
That would make sense, because honestly, my first thought was they probably didn't make a lot then because it was the third one and maybe interest was waning.
Mm-hmm.
That does unfortunately happen a lot usually with extended series, is unless you do a really big improvement, people just kind of trail off.
Yeah. But I really like the Xenosaga thing. I played 1 and 2, but I never got 3. I had gotten 3, but I hadn't gotten through it. So there's this big gap in my memory because I don't know what necessarily happened to a lot of my old stuff, my old PS2 games and whatnot. But I never got the opportunity. So recently, my buddy, my best friend, I live with him, he gave me a bunch of his old PS2 games, which included Xenosaga 1 and 2. I was like, oh cool, now I just need to find 3 and I'll complete the fucking collection. Oh no. So, of course, this is, oh, I have to actually run away. Okay, run! Flee! I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
I think I'm gonna lose this dumb meteor challenge because I'm being bullied by fucking ice slimes and they won't die. And also the animal assholes who made this game put a ice challenge in a zone that's like 50% in the fucking lake. They've done this deliberately, I'm sure, and it's really fucking annoying. I think sometimes I feel like Genshin's too clever with like, ooh, we have an elemental system. I'm like, all right, guys, just calm down. Can I just hit people? Is that allowed?
No. You must.
No, you must do elements.
Elements.
Okay.
But, oh yeah. So I was like, all right, I just need to get.
System. I'm getting bullied by like 4 large enemies, and I keep getting kicked out of the zone, which means my progress goes down. It's very bad. It's very bad. We're literally gonna get jobbed.
I'm sorry. Sorry if Lucky screams. I have agita about red. Oh, fuck you. About I still can't hit it. I have agita about laser beams and
Yeah, no, there's definitely some fucking baggage there. Even with perfect parry, there's some stuff there.
Okay. We gotta run this way.
Honestly, I kind of like the quality because, like, even though they can't see my viewpoint, which at some point we'll figure out, like,
yeah, like I was actually,
and like I could rig mine up to do that too.
Woo!
So you could like switch between our viewpoints, or we could figure out a way to pipe us both through OBS so you could see us too. But let's like. That is why we would be streaming, so we can do these kind of like, well, I'm playing a game right now, and like I'm getting bullied by huge enemies, or Lucky is being attacked by fucking guardians with their laser beams, and it's gonna give him PTSD because Jesus Christ, how horrifying they are. Really, like that's a big thing. Every baby Breath of the Wild player learned was about those big boys.
Big boys. Okay, so
that's a very big aspect of that. Are you fucking running? Why? Get back here. You know what? I think I can say it. I hate these shield guys. Shield guys fucking suck.
Oh yeah,
these giant shield ogres, they suck. They should not exist. Why did you make this? Why did you do this? Nobody likes them. They're bad. They're bad, and whoever made them should feel bad. I'll say it. I'll fucking say it.
That's why I like Amber. It's like, you see that fire shit? I'm just gonna set it on fire. Get rid of it.
Yeah, but it still takes so much effort, and you have to stop everything. And there's so much time shit in Genshin. Like, I don't know. Your Amber might be, like, super way more high level than mine, but I know enemies scale up, too, so I can't...
my Amber, she's at 60 out of 70, and I gave her a decent bow. She has rust.
Okay, well, yeah, I think... I got, like, a minute 30, and I'm not... I don't think I'm gonna finish the challenge part. There's so many of these fucking slimes.
But what I was saying, so... I wanted to go find Xenosaga 3.
Yeah.
I immediately go on Amazon. I was like, oh, I bet I can find a used copy for a decent amount. No, I did not. I'm looking at used copies, disc only, fucking $200. And this is something I'm going to say right now. I hate disc only. I really do. For that.
Yeah, no, I mean, that means, well, first of all, especially if you're like collecting or storing, you can't store them without needing to get a separate thing. You need to like buy a book or a sleeve or something.
I'm like, no, not about this life. Second of all, I'm just like, oh my God. So, this took me a couple months, by the way, to find it. But, sure enough, someone fucking listed Xenosaga Episode 3, and they're listing. It was in, like, actually, hang on, let me pause real quick. Maybe actually look. It was in with a bunch of other games.
I should have did it.
Like, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so it was like in a bundle of, like, 13 games. I just saw them just all like, oh shit. Especially because the listing immediately like started at $9.99. It's an auction, you know. So that means, you know, people start bidding. And I put a hefty bid in. I think I started like at like $30. They use the Goodwill Online uses the auto bid system, so basically you just put in what you want and it'll just automatically bid to you. I will say that system gave me a little bit of agita when I was trying to bid initial plans. It's like, you've already been outbid. I'm like, what the fuck? What kind of bot shenanigans is this? I'm like, actually, it's not actually bot shenanigans. It's just how it is. So you don't have to literally watch the fucking watch the clock.
Your days of your classic eBay camping are gone.
Yeah. So, that's why I did it, and I had the most intense fucking week ever because, like, the story ends with me bidding $180.
And I mean, hypothetically, apparently, it's worth that much.
Yeah. So technically, I did not get it at a loss, technically, but that was the thing that was like, this is the thing that was like bugging me, and I was all like, I think I was most like agitated about that someone was bidding for this game so they could turn around and fucking resell it.
Entirely possibly.
Because that's the thing you do in auctions. You find something, you get it cheap, you give it a bit of shine, you put it right back, you make, that's the wrong button. You make profit.
Yeah, I know that's, for instance, I've mentioned Yu-Gi-Oh. That's the thing that people do is they will resell shit for cash.
So I'm like, no, I want this because I want to maybe one day play it. I mean, I got a functional PS2 and I still have a Gen 1 PS3. I can play that shit. So I did it, but here's the cool thing. I actually got a little bit better's worth of it because I actually got a bunch of other games that I'm keeping as well. It's a Wizrobe. Fuck you. Oh, that's big lightning energy. The let's see. I also got Final Fantasy X and X-2. I got Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, and I also got Devil May Cry 2. I know people are like, well, Devil May Cry 2 is the worst one, but I already had Devil May Cry 3, and I do like Devil May Cry. It ain't my end all to be all games, unlike some people. But like I like it, so I'm definitely trying to get all three.
People, they released Devil May Cry 5 again, and people can once again no longer shut up about it.
That is the wrong button. That's the wrong button. That's the wrong. Oh, there it is. That's the right button.
It's okay, guys. I keyed because I love, but also I don't key. It's actually true. I don't know. Maybe it's because, like I said, you know, because we were talking about this. I think that was on air in Let's Talk. We were talking about how you get those big bursts of like emulating genres and stuff and gameplay elements. Yeah, it was because we were talking about what if you made FGO Genshin Impact, and I was like, you probably wouldn't though, because you don't want to. I know there's some amount of copying in genres, but you don't want to make a carbon copy because FGO is not really built for that Breath of the Wild style exploration.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like DMC was like weird underground anime shit for a while. Like it was really God of War that made action games pop in the West, and everybody did basic bitch action game stuff.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know if that means that like those guys are just super excited because their shit used to be super underground, and they feel like they need to bring the energy every time it comes out. But like, DMC guys are some of the yelliest people I know. They're like, oh my God, it's happening. The music is so good. Let me repost it 5 million times. I'm like, okay, we get it. Your music's good. But when's Bayonetta 3? That's just me. That's just me semi-hipstering being like, well, what about
shit,
that?
I need to put Okami on the list. I know it's been redone 80 million times, but PS2 Okami. Super important.
I still have mine.
Because that's the thing. It's like I was actually
PS2 Okami. I have my PS3 Okami. I have my PS4 Okami. I have that guy. I've bought that game 4 times.
And that's the thing. I was like, this is the thing I was actually wondering about what I wanted to do for collections. Like, do I want to get original copies, or will I be happy with like collections, remasters, and all that stuff? Because I have was it the PS3 version or the PS4 version? PS4
I mean, it depends on what you're doing. Like, if you want to collect the titles, especially for display, I'd love to put the stuff in the shelf all together. Like, hey, look, this is my PS2 era. You can see the original PS2 Okami right there. That said, for play, like especially if you're going to do like gameplay for streaming, if a remaster exists, it's almost always better to get it just because internet shit and like streaming. You don't necessarily want to make people look at the gritty realism of the PS2 if you have to.
Oh, I get to play as Zelda.
Neat.
I get to play as this nerd. I'm excited.
Very nerd. She just used Magnet to smash that barrel for no reason.
I activate Sheikah runes.
Yeah, because she's got the slate, so. It's canon. It's all canon. Everything's canon. It's not actually, I don't think, but it's cool. Everything has justification.
Okay, I've been trying to figure out where I was on this map. It was giving me. I was a little fucked up.
Actually, I should probably pay closer attention to this because it's funny. Because I'll maybe tell some D&D stories later. But we realized that so one of our mods, Dallas, he's in my off camera D&D group, just some casual people in the community, my friendos. But he's been playing an Eladrin barbarian. And in 5e they have different seasons which kind of affect their look and give them some different powers with like their Misty Step and stuff. He was stuck in winter for a long time, so he was like ultra pale and creepy for a long time. But he recently switched to summer, which means he's got red hair and is super tanned and he's huge. So we've realized he's just Ganondorf now. Like he's just a Gerudo guy. He's like super tan redhead hitting people. Only great. Not an asshole because he's a lawful neutral paladin of Corella 11. But yeah, it was really very funny nod.
That's kind of great.
Actually, you know what? Hold on. How are we going? We've been going for about an hour. So you've been playing this for about an hour. How does it feel?
Well, I'm getting more used to it. I think the problem that I'm having most right now is I need to remember that the one button is the Sheikah Slate effect. The other one is in items that you get. Then you need to hit, like, there's special actions on one thing, and then you have... Is this your block, girl? Is your block you just hold the Sheikah Slate in front of you? It's like, no, don't hit me!
Correct. That's a fucking Princess Peach and Super Smash energy. Code, protect me! Protect me, knowledge!
Like I said, I feel like the frame rate is a little low, but I said this could be also the Switch, and also they might... this also
you never know. They might optimize later.
Yeah.
Did they ever... They haven't actually released a Switch Pro, have they? I know they... That was one of the 2 patents they did, was a higher performance Switch and the lower performance Lite. We've only seen the Switch Lite come out. I don't think there's been a Pro.
What the fuck? Zelda can just summon a bomb bot, and that is great.
That seems OP. This seems very unfair to the Moblins and the Bokoblins.
Oh, let's see. So R... Wait, no. Stasis?
I wonder, can you still do stasis physics shenanigans? I bet you
Oh, yeah,
can.
no, you totally can.
Oh, yeah, that's that good shit. Here, I'm gonna freeze this ball, and then I'm gonna punch it.
Oh, shit.
Get out your hammer or your pickaxe.
All right, so I do that.
All right, assholes. I'm gonna need you to stop throwing that shit at me. Thank you.
Like, I can't see it here because of the thing, but yeah, like, if you hit stasis on like a normal enemy, they all get the fucking arrow. They all get the fucking arrow. Let's see.
That's good.
But this is
probably not gonna help your frame rate, buddy.
Probably not. No. God damn it! Stop spinning to win. Fuck.
Spin to win. This is another thing we do sometimes. We sometimes just start doing sound references, guys. If you're a first-time listener, this is What's Up right now.
Yeah, this is What's Up.
It is technically a podcast that is now a live stream, but it was always kind of live streamed, but now it's even more of a live stream.
Oh, see, we got 18 viewers. That ain't bad.
That's good. 18 concurrents, and we'll see. You know, you never know with the VODs.
Yeah.
I think I set up for past live streams a better slide. I need to I've been looking at how our channel layout is. I want to rearrange some stuff, maybe make some new playlists. Like, I think I want to make a playlist of the Fate Homebrew AP, and try and maybe put that as something people will get into more, and see if that dovetails into watching other APs. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's right. I'm Linku. Let's see here. So let's send everyone to the Guardian.
Everyone.
Did they have this ability in the first one where you can actually send your NPCs places? I literally can't remember.
I never got around to playing the original Hyrule Warriors. I know you talked it up a lot, and I wanted to get the definitive edition, but then they announced Age of Calamity, and I was like, well, there I am. That's me, right there.
No, it was not. Okay, Sykes says it wasn't. Okay. Because I think that was something I probably then bitched about that I couldn't do.
That sounds like a thing, yeah.
Yeah.
I would also probably complain about that.
That was not the jump button. That was the sword hard button.
Sword more.
Okay, apparently this Link can jump the fuck off a fucking... Hey, it's your boy. It's not your boy. No, Zelda. Oh, God.
That's some paranoia noise right there.
I do appreciate that when you have your item in over, we do the tactical slowdown.
That's always fun. like not a full pause, but enough time for you to figure out what the fuck you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Follow me, lad. Oh god, it's you.
But all right, you're having fun though. It's good.
Yeah, no, I'm probably gonna like. I'm probably not playing this as well as I fucking could because I said I'm splitting my attention. But
yes,
like,
that is the. I don't know if we officially call it that, but that is the Game Grumps problem.
yes,
like splitting your attention and like having to talk to people, especially about other things. And Game Grumps especially because they're supposed to be trying to be funny. Right now, we're just trying to talk.
Yeah.
But like when you split your attention that way, it really does make you dumb. The human brain's not meant for that. I did papers on this. Like I did some basic bitch research work for driver's ed about splitting your attention. It's really bad, guys. Especially in your car, don't do that. But like in general, splitting your attention does not go as well as you think it will go. And like I think we've talked about this before. There are certain things that I know I and some other people can do, like almost like a parallel processing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can do different things at the same time that are in different areas of the brain. But there are limits. Like I can play Genshin Impact right now and talk to you. I could not pay close attention to a Genshin Impact cutscene with dialogue and also speak to Lucky. Yeah. I would have to know which one of those things my language brain was working on.
Yeah.
So splitting your attention, I'm sure it gets a little distracting. Like if Hyrule Warriors there is asking you to like use your brain about something, and you're like, but wait, hold on, I was talking about Azure Lane.
Yeah. Give it the stab right in the eye. Nice, nice move. Butt pats. So actually, shoot, I was actually wondering. Going back to talking about auctions, I was actually wondering if I actually want to maybe like stream a Xenosaga. It is an old game, and it probably has not aged the most, but it has Cosmos in it. It's where Cosmos shirt burst apart, and this is super important. Super important. I really do need to go pick up Xenoblade Chronicles 2 at some point because you can get Cosmos in there too. Cosmos was my original.
Did I think I rented one of the Xenosagas from like my library once. I'm pretty sure I didn't beat it because that is the unfortunate problem with renting JRPGs from your local library. They require a lot of hours.
I did it.
Though, I don't know. I beat... Was it Grandia 3 or 4? I think it was 3.
Actually, I have one of the Grandias. Which one do I have? I think it's 3.
Here's the thing. I don't know nothing about Grandia. I played one of them, like I said, rented it from my library.
Oh, I have Grandia
liked
too.
it a lot.
That's what it is.
And, like, I don't know anything else about the series or anything like that. It's kind of funny. Just... Especially back in the early 2000s period, that was totally a thing where like you would just randomly read about games or see them in like a list somewhere and try them. Fuck, I got into games because I like wiki walked on TV tropes. Like I just randomly stumbled into Grand Grimoire on TV tropes, and I was like, this sounds cool, and I really love Grand Grimoire, guys. It's another game I need to pick up because that's a Vanillaware game. Age of Sentinels.
Oh, that's right.
That is out now, but I have not yet had time to... Yeah, 13... I want to say 13 Rim, but was that a joke?
No, I think it's 13 Sentinels. Is it 13 Sentinels? I think it is.
Yeah, 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim is the actual title?
Yeah, something like that.
I think somebody was trying to make a pun about, like, Pacific Rim the other day, and I got confused. But yes, no, it's the new Vanillaware. It's out.
This guy's fabulous, by the way.
Don't have that either. I'll get it.
He used information as a lone world.
Is he on the goggles?
Oh, God. There she is looking normal? I guess?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just thinking Breath of the Wild and just seeing her as a small child, and now she's older.
Yes, but no. That's the great thing about it.
I know, I'm just like...
I've accidentally turned myself into a tiny baby child, but I'm really as fucking old as Impa. That'll be interesting to see there. I know a lot of people were kind of, maybe they were like a little weirded out by like seeing Impa's potential design action in Age of Calamity. I'm excited though, because that's one, we get to see all those Sheikah guys kick some ass as enemies, the Yaga, you know, or Yiga. So it'll be interesting to see the stuff. But I knew that already.
Yeah.
Because in general, Breath of the Wild style character designs, big energy, big ups for me.
Intense Link intensifies.
Well, okay, Axe, if you're still... It's very passive-aggressive of you to ask it that way. You're asking about being in a group. I'll tell a D&D story really quick, kind of.
Go for it.
Like, I got some other couple of funny things we could talk about. We've had some interesting past couple of sessions. You may have heard, guys, I'm a paladin of Bahamut. Well, recently the Game Master did the Great Bamboozlement, and it turned out that +1 longsword I found that is actually a super evil +1 longsword of Tiamat. So I have had to have a very long conversation with my god about whether or not it was okay to use the sword. And he was like, yeah, go for it, dude. I was like, okay, it's really cool, so I'll use it, and we'll see what happens. And who knows? Maybe my next 10 levels are Hexblade. Anyway, probably not. And Tasha's Cauldron of Everything came out recently. It's another new, basically kind of a core player's book. Adds a lot of new options, new subclasses, new feats, some new spells and stuff. One thing they've done a lot is add a lot of quote-unquote optional class features. Where basically, if your Game Master's not an asshole or doesn't think that your class is unbalanced, they can let you do more shit, which is good. Because there are some classes in 5e who can't do enough shit. For instance, one of the features that our Dungeon Master Vesper, you can hear them in a lot of the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, usually me yelling and crying at them as I get destroyed by super heavy samurai. Check it out. Let me take a paladin feature they introduced where I can spend my channel divinity feature, which normally lets me do subclass things, to also just get a spell slot back, which is good because I'm a paladin. As a half caster, I need those fucking spell slots because I need them either to do spells or to do smites, which are like, that's my thing. If I can't smite and I can't do spells, I'm just a, slightly fighter-ish person. But I'm not even a fighter because I don't have access to sit like action surge and whatnot. It's a very interesting thing. We had a big long conversation about like who has the most DPS and kills, and I think like in terms of damage cap, I'm pretty high power just because of the way smites work.
Yeah.
But I only have so many per day, right? Because I have to use a spell slot to smite. So, I've killed a decent share of boss or elite enemies in the D&D campaign, but Dallas running the barbarian, he's just very consistent damage because he can like rage once an encounter basically, and then he's set for all his bonus damage stuff. Whereas my smites are like per day period. Like I know he's only got so many rages per day, but if he rages at the start of an encounter, he's good for the whole encounter basically. So he's much more consistent at killing like mooks and just generally dealing damage. And he's also the tankiest of us. He is Dallas. We've talked about Dallas's luck sack abilities before. He's very swingy. And he's gotten really good rolls on like HP and stuff. I think he's in like the actually in like the high 60s or maybe the low 70s of HP now that we're level 5. Like, and I'm sitting at like 45, which is fairly decent. I had some bum rolls, but I switched it up. I got a con bump with a feat at level 4 so I could get more HP. Like, most of us are okay. There's a couple of the casters who are a little fragile. But so recently, Vesper asked us if we would be okay adding more people to the group.
Oh,
I guess I don't see Vesper in the Patreon chat. They must be listening on YouTube or something because they just discussed it. Yes, he had. Okay, so he's in 60s and he has, while raging, he gets resistance to basically all non-spell damage. Because I think it gives you damage resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. So basically, normal vanilla attacks do half as much damage to him, and he's a big, strong boy.
Big, strong boy.
I would kill for some of that universal damage resistance stuff. We got some fun stuff though. But so Visera was like, "Oh, are you guys okay adding some more people? We're 5 PC." So it's like, my opinion was like, "Yeah, sure. I like you as a dungeon master. I assume you know what you're doing. If you think new people are okay to bring in, that's okay." So we added 2 new people. They haven't played yet because we play on Wednesdays. So now we're a group of 7 PCs, and I'm like, okay, all right, GM. Well, if you think it's fine, it's fine. And Axe has been doing that dancing around thing. Like, he wants to know what I think. I'm like, whatever. If the Game Master thinks they're up to it, whatever. This is their decision. This is like me talking about my future L5R game, where I'll be like, I'm okay with a robust number of people so long as everybody understands. So long as everybody, myself and everybody in the group, understands that this means there is sharing of spotlight, and like there are gonna be moments when people are having a conversation where everybody needs to sit the fuck back and not do it. I don't know how that part's gonna work for our D&D game specifically, because we've joked about this. We're a very Bance heavy party, both in and out of character. As you might expect from a group that contains me, Dallas, and Robin as players, with Axe in the back. Though Axe plays a very quiet character, so usually it's just Gabriel just sits in the back corner and just mutters quietly to himself. So I don't know how that's gonna go.
Excuse me.
But we'll see. It'll be fun, and I will continue to hit people. Speaking of Tasha's Cauldron, I actually respect. I am now a Paladin of Glory, which fits my style a lot better. It's kind of interesting. They're like a physical challenges and mobility paladin. Like at level 7, I think it is. I get my aura ability. It just gives me straight up 10 feet of extra movement. So like 2 squares.
Oh, that's nice.
And any ally who starts their turn within 5 feet of me, so a square of me, also gets plus 10 speed for the turn. Like it's got a lot of really interesting mobility stuff, which is something I've noticed we're not necessarily good at. We have frequently had problems where our casters are in the back, and then our melee guys, which includes me, are getting the shit kicked out of us, and they're like, oh shit, you guys are like 7 squares away. I can't reach you to cast Cure Wounds. And it's like, why are you 7 squares away then? As I'm getting beat up by elementals, who I taunted, so it's kind of my own fault, but you know, it's how it is. So I'm reaching those mobility levels. Zalus is a very important character. Zalus, played by Aleph, another member of the community. He's an artificer. He is usually our team brain. I believe one of the new players is going to play a wizard, so hopefully they can also brain. They have an int score. It's required. But he has struggled with some of his build options with artificer and bad luck with rolls. So he usually relaxes, lets his robot dog do the work. We all love the dog. We call him D-Dog. That's not his name. It's 80-something. I think the number has explicitly changed a couple of times, so we forget. 84. 84 is the current number. Okay, we'll call that canon. But Zalus, when we're bancing, is usually quiet. But whenever we need to actually solve problems, it's usually like everybody turns to him and is like, "Zalus, is there some kind of magical science that can be done here?" Like, with the way your proficiency bonus stacks up, I'm like now that we're high enough level, I have like a +5. I have like a +3 hit proficiency, so I'm at like +2 history. So theoretically, I can roll history on stuff. You know, my character's not a complete idiot. I'm not trained in religion or arcana or nature yet. So religion, especially as a paladin, is very funny. Where it's like, I could try to roll that, but I'm not good at it. I'm still -1. The saga of the paladin with 8 int.
Oh, thank you.
That is a very good. That is a very good one. By the way, I think we mentioned this earlier, but I do really like the setup you've got here. Where, in case you guys can't tell, I am just the sword with a headphones, with a little Omega brand headphones. Hopefully, we can produce that actual merch someday. That'd be nice. Get some inserts in there.
Yeah. Like I was like, it's actually funny. I spent a lot of time making some new assets for this, so we can have a more what's up feel, because I didn't want to just use my standard streaming setup, because it's not just me. This is StudiOmega. This is the whole thing. Yeah. So I went and smashed together a quick background, made an asset, and I was all like, this is what I'm talking about. Lucky doesn't mind like making assets and stuff, but he needs a fucking spark. He needs like inspiration. And then I'm just like, oh shit, I could totally do a thing.
Yeah, I definitely feel that for certain things where it's like I'm thinking about it, I'm like, you know, maybe especially with a live stream, maybe do we need like a little music sting intro? But I also at the same time I'm like, yeah, but I'm not gonna make that right now. I have no idea what I do for that right away. So it's like, there are things that we understand that are like, that's probably a good idea, but if it doesn't like pop off, you're like, I don't want to do that. There have definitely been times where I've been like, oh, I want to get set up for this. Like, I want to do this particular thing right now.
Yeah, no. Actually, it was actually kind of relevant. If you actually look in the description, I gave ourselves titles. Lucky is the Rabbiteering. I called Omega the Sword of Creation. Because what I was gonna do, I was gonna make a much fancier sword, and I'm literally in Clip Studio Art. There's like 10 minutes. I'm like, I totally cannot make a Sword of Creation right fucking now.
Sword.
So sword. I was like, Omega, what's your favorite color? And he's like, red. I was like, of course.
Correct.
Just slapped everything on in there.
Hey, it means we have a very consistent between Tyranny Rabbits, red and black.
Mm.
We have a very consistent color scheme.
Yeah. Ultimate Keyblade. That's a little too
Probably. if we were to go all out, but nah, it's just
no. Lucky's gotta get goo at the art. Like I said, I was able to knock this out today, so I am proud of that. But gotta go further. Like I said, if we're talking about Digimon, I'm still in my fucking rookie form. One day I will have fucking full-on 2D in motion LTD avatars, but we will see.
The VTuber thing's really picking up with people. Okay, come on, circle menu.
All right, so
sorry, like I said, I don't know if it's just because I'm on controller, but the circle menu for like hold L1 and then flick your stick is sometimes very weirdly responsive in Genshin. But all right, so.
Oh, yeah, so.
I was talking about your auction thing. We told some D&D stories. That's really all I got for now. We had a big role-playing heavy session where we yelled about stuff and figured out backstory. And some characters didn't reveal their backstory yet, so we need to yell at them more. But we have a pretty good transition. I'll be interested to see where we go. We're doing stuff, doing things. Well, I think the transition there is either... Do we have anything to talk about our tabletop with Star Wars?
Well, I got it uploaded, like, without dying. So that's important.
Yeah, and the last session has already been posted. Everything's caught up. I wanted to make sure to do that this week.
I will say 10 out of 10 was not expecting having to yell at Loth again. Again, I apologize that I am unable to remember who is who in the heat of the moment.
That's okay. They're literally clones.
Yeah.
And I will say, while they do they start with different letters, they're still both like Boots and Camo are both still pretty short. It's like B then C.
Yeah.
Their names are not necessarily very diversified, but that's because those shucklefucks didn't even know what the fuck their names would be.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I named both of them.
I think Camo came about from more of a group conversation because there were a couple different versions thrown around. Boots was definitely you because Loth did that dumb thing where he opens his mouth and you were like, "Congratulations, you are now Boots," and he's like, "Oh shit, I guess I'm Boots now."
Yeah.
It do be like that sometimes.
But I like the session. There was other things that I wasn't necessarily prepared to give a fucking inspiring speech to fucking Boots, but I think I pulled it off all right. Because I was actually thinking about it later, and I was like, in hindsight, just telling someone to fucking be better, well, it's probably in the right direction. It's probably shouldn't have given them a little bit more to go on, but for right now, it'll be fine. Yeah, because that's basically what that ultimate conversation come down to is we're all having a fucking shitty time. Don't take it out on don't have unhealthy habits because of it. Be better. But unfortunately, I think it was like 3 times I said Camo instead of Boots. I was like, God fucking damn it.
Rip.
Yeah, big rip.
That's okay. For the most, other than the last one, I think where Lost just busted out laughing just because rule of 3. Everybody was just kind of kept to it for the most part. And I just kind of usually when I get player characters that go into like a big in character dialogue, I'm basically just sitting here going, I'm just, or not even the actual, I'm just standing there quietly and nodding.
But in Star Wars, I think I talked about this a little bit with like character development.
Yeah, you talked about the direction you're taking the character last time and kind of where you're spending your EXP.
Yeah, I'm actually hyper focusing. Usually, this is something I don't do. Usually, I like to spread out my time and get a little bit of everything and make it a slow going. But I'm like, no, I want to be able to do at least one cool thing. Like, I want to do the cool thing before we end. Because as I said, we're not exactly winding down. But like I said, I think you and I are starting to think about other games, you know? Ah! I just was sent flying.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, the front half of the episode starts with a combat that once again reminds me that you guys are like superhumans, and I need to. Even if I think, oh, this will be interesting, it's not actually interesting, because player characters don't hold back.
No. Oh wait, that was the wrong one. Fuck. Oh.
Like there was a joke where I talked about the quick strike animals and like Martha's like, yeah, I mean, I do have 2 ranks of quick strike, and I'm like, yeah, I know you do. I know you do. I don't think anybody in the audience would know you do because you never go first. Because we have... The way it's been previously is that Axe's character, Camo, the ARC Trooper, was the only one with quick strike, which is the talent that wants you to go first, basically.
Yes.
You get bonus dice if you attack enemies before they act, which I use some vanilla stat lines, so that means all the enemies, because God forbid mooks are not allowed to go first. Again, I'm not sure what they were thinking with certain design fractions of this game, like the way they spread out the skills.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure all of you have pretty decent vigilance pools, and you're not even really that spec'd out for it.
No.
Though I do know that some of our players will just spend big money on skills. Spend a lot of EXP on big skill drops. But it's like, okay, so nobody's ever going to go first. And it meant that there was a lot of damage being spread around. And it's just like, okay, yeah, no, all right, well. I guess if you guys really like to body enemies wholly, that was cool for you. But I was just kind of like, yeah, I don't feel like that was as interesting as I wanted it to be. And it certainly is something, right? Like that's the thing when doing GMing stuff. You want to be like, no. Players should be able to like have those moments of just like feeling like, yeah, I'm super strong. I could fight like 100 dudes, you know?
Oh, yeah, totally.
But those are usually at appropriate moments, and just like when every fight turns into that, you're like, ooh, that's not really rewarding for you. You just bodied all those guys.
Yeah.
And some of it's just if you've been following the APs, you know I bought 2 sets of my own dice because the dice roller fucking hates my guts. Like whenever I'm rolling, especially in combat, it never gives me anything good. It's always like, well, you succeed with like 3 threats. So it's like, okay, so I just cause massive damage to the players. Nothing interesting happens, or I like just constantly fail by a little bit. And it's just like, okay, all right, game. If you don't, and I'm rolling usually pretty average pools. Like some of you have some pretty spicy defenses.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, as an overall, you guys aren't like grossly defensively focused.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it's very much a thing where like, this is a pretty normal check. I don't see why the dice just had to fuck me. And that's why I roll real dice, because they're more random.
Mm.
Even though I know we're recording video now, and sometimes you guys want to see that, but it's like, it's for me though, because it's not, if I can't get a success, it's not very interesting. To the point where I've literally had some enemies like have special abilities to go first or get successes or other stuff, just because it's like, okay, if the game won't give me what I need for this to do a thing, I need to make it do that.
Well, that's what I keep saying is like, you just need, I'm like, I know that like they have their listed profiles, but as we have discovered many times, a lot of times those, especially for mooks, those listed profiles are bad.
Yeah, the game, I mean, there are some mechanics like I need the space to try out especially with droids. I think I'm going to have to, for future updates, have to use the phalanx rule, which is basically the idea that there are so many of these droids in so many rows that you have to defeat a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, basically, so imagine, for instance, say you have a row of a phalanx of 3 droids that is 3 rows deep. That means there's 9 droids, so you have to do enough damage to kill 9 guys, but there's never more than 3 guys shooting at you. So it's not like a 9-man strong minion group would be like 8 upgrades, you fucking die, right?
No, so it's
that's always the danger zone. But it's only the 2 extra upgrades, but it means you got to chew through a lot of extra HP. It's just that
sounds good.
Up until this point, I don't think I've had a really good, because there's also always the fluff problem where it's like, okay, but how are we fighting 45 or whatever?
I mean, like real talk, I would just say they're fucking separatist droids. They're literally made by the cheapest, and it's literally quantity over quality.
Well, yeah, but it's like in that canyon fight, how would they get there? And I didn't feel right busting out, because rocket droids are pretty chunky. The thing that fucked me there was that I completely forgot that you're carrying that fucking rocket missile tube. Not for this purpose, by the way.
No.
Not for this purpose, but hey, guess what? Blast weapons are really fucking good against mooks. Though, hilariously enough, Loth did have the blast weapon for this. He brought a fucking ion trooper and just an ion grenade launcher and just did not, though. Like, I think it was at the second one no, it was just a raw damage. No, the first one didn't pop, that's right. He just did enough to kill like 1 guy. I was like, I didn't activate blast, so I guess I just hit 1 guy
Bonk.
with the grenade. So yeah, like it's very the balance is interesting and swingy sometimes, and sometimes you need to go that extra step.
And honestly, here's the thing.
Like,
I would say this, like, we always complain about, like, mini groups not having vigilance or cool, whatever. If you just wanted to add that skill to their thing and just have it upgraded, like, I would not complain at all. Because, as we know, it's like I can understand why, like, the game doesn't give, like, the standard Separatist droid fucking, vigilance, is because they're, you know...
Oh, yeah, no, like, regular vanilla B1 droids, yeah, sure, they're fucking cheap. They're scrubby. But it's like... Literally everybody. Are you a bad guy? You're not allowed to have vigilance for some fucking reason. I'm like, why? Yeah. Players shouldn't get to go first for free. They should have to fucking work for it.
Yeah, so if you just wanted to give them, like, 2 ranks in vigilance, I'm just be like, yeah, sure, no, that makes sense to me.
And I mean, I'm not... like, usually when I design my own, I'm like, okay, this character needs some level of cooler vigilance. Usually my issue is I don't like to, quote-unquote, gacha the players and be like, oh... I've just realized this stat block doesn't have vigilance when I copied it down from the book. I don't want to just introduce vigilance to them now. And I'd love to hear what the other guys say. Like, if you guys are more open with that, I am definitely okay. Just like
I said, like, because I
have done that with a lot of games where I've just been like, this isn't even in their stat block. It doesn't matter. I want them to be better at this skill check. Like, I'm gonna give him a couple upgrades on his initiative check.
Yeah, no, like.
And if you guys are okay with that stuff, just to keep the power curve so it's not so much of a weird slaughter fest.
Well, yeah, because, well, that's the thing. It's like, the game's on a power curve. If the enemies aren't curving as well, the only thing you can really do is throw more fucking bodies at it, but guess what? We can do...
And I'm interested to see a couple of those fights. Like, there will definitely be an opportunity for you guys to fight just wave after wave of shitty mook droids, and I will see how that goes.
Yeah. But for, like, elite enemies and mid-boss encounters, it's like, yeah, just give them, like, cool or vigilance. It's like, are they going to ambush you? Well, guess what? They got some cool. They knew this was going to happen.
And I admit, I've definitely done the narrative thing where, like, the reason you guys got, like, attacked suddenly and had to roll vigilance and all that. Because I was like, oh, yeah, these guys just popped out of nowhere and shot a rocket at you last time. And like, I didn't try to hit you with it narratively or anything, but it was just like, yeah, no, they're just there. They're doing stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
And none of us was all like, I didn't get to make a perception check or anything. We're just like, no, it happened. Oh, no. Oh.
The beauty of narrative leading games where you're just like, I guess this is just a thing now. We're just doing it. We're just fighting.
Yeah.
And it makes a great cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I mean, no, it's not necessarily bad. You try to spend resources, especially if you go, like, if you use rapid reaction, because that costs you strain. Though I still feel like for some reason, camo doesn't spend strain enough other ways. Like, I don't know what it is, but I feel like you only ever have to spend strain because you have quick draw. I feel like you only ever have to spend strain to, like, do rapid reaction, and then you just roll 5 advantages, and you're like, I'm gonna heal all my strain, and then the next guy gets 5 boost dice. I don't want to do it right now because we've been going for 50 sessions. If I do another Star Wars campaign, I am absolutely gonna house rule. You can only do that once with advantage. The passive boost die to the next guy to go. Just because at higher levels of play, it's so BS that you can just be like, oh, I don't know what to do with my advantage. I'm just gonna give the next guy 6 boost dice. And yeah, I know boost dice are swingy, but sometimes it's just like, okay, that's not really that interesting. I like the idea of, like, stacking for your friends, but it's just a very lazy option to just be like, oh, I just do this a lot of times, because it's not explicitly marked, because a lot of things are. And often dumb things are marked as, like, you could only do this once, and I'm like,
Honestly, I would like to say, if it was me personally,
well, Axe, that's your problem where you're like, oh, wait, somebody else is in the middle of their turn. Could I have gone back and done it? I'm like, no, you need to declare you're spending strain to take on the maneuver back then, buddy. Like, if it's so important to you, you need to do it then before we move on. Like, I'm not afraid of, like, some retcons, but it's definitely a thing where, like, no, if we've already moved on, we've moved on. Like, the opportunity cost is gone. Maybe if it was, like, an incidental or something, but the whole, like, getting extra maneuvers, that's like, if that was so important to you, you need to remember to do that.
Yeah. Honestly, with the whole blues thing, I would just say, if it was me, I'd just be like, all right, describe how you're actually assisting this player, and I'll say how many you can do depending on that.
That might also be a good one. That makes you think, because that's what the advantage is supposed to do.
Yeah.
But it doesn't always. That's another thing. Sometimes I think I'm overly hard on myself as a game master. I'm like, no, the guy didn't do that. I will not, like, go back and and make this guy more optimal. I forgot to declare he aimed, so he doesn't aim. Like
Yeah.
like maybe if I'm not rolling dice yet, I'm like, oh wait, he can aim. But if I rolled dice and I'm like, ah shit, he should have aimed. Oh well.
Yeah.
Like I don't ever go back and like take my extra action or whatever because it's already the moment's already passed. And if I forget, I forget. And that's how it is for everybody. And I know some people don't mind that kind of going back and doing all the optimal stuff, and I'm just like, that's just not usually how I play. Like if you forget, you forget. Like the game's not about being the most optimal all the time. Just the question is more when the stats are like so outrageously outclassed where it's like, okay, so Axe can go first. He can generate 5 million advantage because just that's his build. He has free success and advantage and rolls a lot of dice. Like he's good at what he does. He's getting extra dice when he goes first. And arguably he's better using Quick Strike against non-droids because he can use Clanker Killer to get automatic success. He's very likely to hurt those droids, but that turns into automatic success. If he actually rolls his boost dice for Quick Strike, he can get advantage and stuff. So, like, that quickly turns into the, okay, and then it's like, all right, I've healed my 2 strain. I don't know what to do with this. I guess I'll just give the next guy 3 because that's optimal. That's good for him to have extra stuff. Oh, yeah, that's a big one, Dallas. Just forgetting enemies with, like, aura powers and shit.
Oh, he exploded.
But yeah, no, like, and again, like, since we're talking about it, I don't mind doing the thing and, like, adding a little bit of spice just because we want to do some back and forth. You know,
well, like here's the thing. Like, literally in that first combat, I'm just like, because this was the fun thing I like about battle meditation. It basically takes out a combatant, but it just makes the other ones a little bit better at what they do. So technically, it's a better action economy for you because Arma is good.
I try to make it so that there's at least as many NPC stat blocks as there are PCs, if not more.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to go overboard because I have to, adjudicate this. But so yeah, if you, as you're saying, if you skip your turn basically to do battle med, that means that it becomes less likely that it's physically possible for you guys to go 5 in a row and body all enemies.
Yeah.
Which is a thing that has occasionally happened in the past.
Because Because Arma, I have built to actually be very high damage, high defense. She's like very good. Like the more I look at it, like fucking like my build's scary. It really is.
Yes, you have a lot of burst damage potential.
Yeah.
Like if you want to hit somebody really hard, you can invest all the resources you need to really lay the smackdown on somebody. But as we've seen consistently throughout our stuff, that means that you are spending a lot of resources to do that, and as a character, you will often very frequently burn out, basically.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, well, guess what? I can't do anymore, so we're stopping.
Oops.
And I don't know, maybe it's just because of different talent selection or what, but I feel like when you roll, you're often on the razor's edge of your you're using advantage to heal strain. Like it's like, okay, I want to do stuff, but also I need to heal strain.
Yeah, and like I never get like a fuck ton of advantage. Usually because I think even with light points, I think I'm usually going in with you usually make sure to split it. Like you don't go all in on an advantage, so it's usually like half and half. Like, all right, I've got 2 light side points. I rolled 3 success, 3 advantage. I'll make it 4 and 4. Yeah.
You know.
Well, I like doing that because again, like damage is good, but also being able to do stuff is good.
And while deadly, you have also built a lot of debuff potential into your build. Like you showcase this in recent APs. Arma can just take people apart in a very precise way without having to just bludgeon them to death.
Yes. Like, I was actually considering that if I just wanted to go straight debuff, I would just start pumping all points, light side points into advantage, just constantly pop improved strike, just layer debuff upon debuff on him, and just continuously heal strain. So I can just keep pop, because Arma has 2 dodge. 2 dodge and fucking sense, that's for the cost of 1 force point and 2 strains a turn, I can give fucking 4 upgrades to hit her. That's a little wild. Plus, with debuffs like the brawn one and I think
Yeah, you can make it so enemies have to increase their difficulty when rolling certain checks or temporarily decrease their effects.
Yeah. So I can make Arma, you know, almost unhittable because it's funny. This happens like almost with every character. It's all like, yeah, I'm great. I don't need defense. Let me just get full bodied. All right, let's focus a lot on defense.
Well, it's because we've talked about this because you have an unfortunate issue where you get stuck doing face stuff a lot.
Yeah.
For reasons. I definitely like to see us do some different campaigns if you don't end up doing that way and like what happens because like our previous big campaign was Mages of War and you were the officer in that because that's what you played. So yeah, you explicitly went for being blinged out. You picked the gilded option for your armor customization. So because you wanted those extra social skill points. So it was like, okay, well, you've succeeded. You are very shiny, but you're the officer and you're a big deal. So enemies are targeting you first.
Yeah.
Which is like, okay, well, yeah. Then you got shot a lot. The game is it's designed so that if you take a couple rifle hits, you're probably seriously injured or dead. So you took a couple of shots early on, passed out a couple times, and we're like, okay, I need to fix this. If I'm going to get shot at, I need to survive. Which has turned into sometimes doing some very weird things. Though, with Mages of War, there are a lot more outs. Like, I think in a fairly recent session at the end of that campaign, I still seriously posed a threat to you because I had a guy do, like, a very short-range spell that ignored armor, and you were just like, ooh, that's not great.
Yeah, I'm cooking inside it. Yeah, no, yeah, Wolfgang is fucking Iron Man in the fucking 1910s right now.
Yeah, it's like 1915 and you're Iron Man.
Yeah.
But magic is bullshit, so it can sometimes get around that.
Yeah. Arma's biggest weakness is her fucking strain train.
Like, yeah, Arma can be very damage resilient, but if she does too much effort, she passes out, which is a fairly decent balance for a lot of that stuff.
Like I said, I had some palpitations during the prize fight.
Yes, but yeah, so like Arama's problem was you as a character. You were once again also in command, but as a character, Arma very specifically has a big complex about leaping into battle first.
Yeah.
Literally, I think the first 10 sessions of the game was every PC and NPC telling you to stop taking bullets for them. Not literally, but close to. Because you would get shot up a lot because you were a very Babu Jedi. And you love to jump into conflict with lightsaber swinging, and that was drawing a lot of aggro. I think, honestly, you kind of spoiled some of the other player characters by drawing so much aggro, because that's the thing about lightsabers. They're basically, in the way this game is, they're basically true damage. Barring certain specific enemy types I have introduced at various points, it's definitely got some moments where it's like, okay, I can't let you get away with being in a melee with guys and just killing them, right? Like, that's a thing that both on a meta level and an in-context level, the enemy cannot ignore. So when you and Cavus would leap first and start hitting people, it would be a whole thing. And this has bitten you guys in the butt occasionally. What was that? I think that was the one time I really got Camo down, was like he drew the most accurate of those stun droids, and like everybody started passing the fuck out. Like Camo went down first because he's another big DPS, and then Cavus went down, and then it was just like,
Yeah, I'm gonna go get me Lady Urabusa for reasons.
That's a good choice. That's a good pick, Lucky. So yeah, like that was an interesting session because that was when you switched more to battle med, because it was like, okay, the other guys are like fucking monsters. Like Cavus is a killing machine. Camo shoots dudes dead with his double pistols, whatever. Boots is, if Boots actually bothers to take a turn, he'll probably drop somebody, and he's pretty tough. So you switched to battle med and started hanging back, which means that you drew a lot less aggro, because to the enemies, yeah, you're a Jedi, but what you're doing is you just stand back there and like clasp your palms together or drop into a lotus position and just stuff starts happening. Like you're not generating threat. So we saw some pivots there. And now you've kind of swung back the other way where for some fights you will still go full battle med, like we talked about that canyon fight, which you can listen to now. It's right at the beginning of the episode. But other times if you're like, oh, they're approaching me, like if an enemy gets in your space, you'll be like, oh no, you've triggered my trap card. I'm going to punch you now a lot. And you can really, like we said, really literally take people apart at close range.
Like I said, talking about like sharing the spotlight and stuff. There's something I like taking the spotlight in boss fights.
And it makes sense because you're the Jedi. Like, I don't want to deprecate our two clone players, but if this campaign is modeling like something like the Clone Wars TV series, either of them, the Jedi are usually the centerpiece. That means that when big plot shit or big dust up shit happens, the camera focus should snap to Arma and now to Wevu, our other Jedi PC, and you guys should like do big boy moves. Like you should be doing the super cool shit. And then in between those fights, that's usually when our clones are like doing tactical high speed low drag stuff. Like you know, like in the lead up to that boss fight, that's when Camo like crawls through a vent, pulls out his rifle and kills like 5 guys. And then you bust out and punch General Grievous or whatever. Not that you guys actually want to punch out General Grievous. So it's kind of like it's kind of the thing, and I think honestly, as they're saying now in the patron chat, both Loth and Axe never really wanted to be the big boy focus characters either. That's why they played clones.
Yeah. Like I said, I still want people to get action, but like
well, yeah, you want. As this is just a general statement, as the game master and as other players, you should want other players to be able to do their thing so they have fun.
Yeah, but like I was not gonna say like when I fought the fucking the champion, I'm like, nah, that's all me. When we were on the refueling, the refining, that's what it was, the refining station, and we fought that fucking giant droid. I keep wanting to think it was a fucking Final Fantasy VII boss. That's the only way I can.
Yeah, well, it's called the Scorpionic, but yeah, no, it was a Sentinel Scorpion, yeah, basically.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna fight this, and
and that turned into yet another great Arma PTSD moment because it had napalm canisters.
Yeah,
Cavis stayed to help you. But then I loved it. The clones went to go deal with the yelling angry man in the control room. They went to go fight the fat man. And that worked out pretty well.
But, oh shit. But so like, yeah, when there's like a big boss, yeah, I also did this when we fought the gardener corrupted bot. That was the one where Arma finished it by literally punching her arm through the fucking chest and pulling out the crystal.
You gave him the Kali Ma punch.
Yeah.
That was another interesting fight because that was my attempt to do like arena stuff, and some of the mechanics worked and some of them you kind of sidestepped. Again, my bad luck rolling is GM. It's mostly a GM thing. I don't know, maybe it's just GMs in general. You always roll the swingiest because I'm pretty consistent at rolling in our D&D game. Like I don't usually feel like sometimes the dice are a little fucky, but usually I feel like if I'm doing stuff I'm supposed to be doing, I'm actually decent. And then it's like, well, I'll roll religion. I mean, I got a 12. That's an 11. It's not the worst, you know? In one session, we were fucking on fire with crits. I think I rolled myself like 2 or 3 natural 20s, and I was only one of the players. We were all on fire. I think in that game, Robin, who's playing Karina, the catfolk sneakomancer, Sork Rogue, sneak attack damage on beams. It's crazy. Yeah, I think Karina crit the ghoul boss we were fighting for like half his HP with a guiding bolt or something. Jeez. With sneak attack because he was flanked. Like it was pretty spicy. But yeah, so like sometimes stuff gets swingy. Oh, it was Chaos Bolt. Yeah, it was her fucking cantrip, wasn't it? Or is Chaos Bolt a first level? I'm not a sorcerer. I don't know. It is a first. Okay, still really good. As a humble half caster, spell levels are weird to me still. I mean, technically, I am. No, actually, no. It's not how that works. I'm 5th level. I have access to 3rd level spells now, or 2nd level spells. Even not even 3rd. It's wild. Though I got some free spell-like abilities that also make it weird. Because, like, since Session 1, I've been able to cast, Dispel Magic. Because of a feat I took. Because Vesper let us take extra feats at level 1. That's good. Feats are very rare in 5e. But it's so that's normally a 3rd level spell, but I've been able to do it once a day since we were level 2 when we started. So I have a weird aspect. But yeah, no, I was just saying that, like, you get some very interesting kind of stuff between your game mastering roles and working with people and, like, figuring out stuff. Like the angel fight, the guardian angel fight was supposed to be like, okay, you're fighting one big guy, all of you at once in a relatively featureless room. Now, obviously, that means you guys can't get cover. So, like, we did some stuff with that. We did some interesting things. I used some of his abilities to, like, kind of play against some of the player characters and then work against the others. And I think you just nutting up and getting into melee and punching him out worked very well because you were actually the most effective, which was kind of just how it worked. I think, like, because he had special extra soak against energy weapons, so Cavis was using his lightsaber and Camo using his guns was not as effective, but Boots had his shotgun at the time, you know, which is a vanilla, like, it's a fucking Halo-ass scatter gun that's like 8-gauge Magnum, but it's still a fucking shotgun.
Here comes that metal.
So, like, you guys were doing damage and kind of being effective, and it kind of played out to, like, lead to that moment of, like, all of you did your stuff, but the boss was stronger against some things than others, and do that kind of rock, paper, scissors. And honestly, like, there's some other stuff. Like, when you did that asteroid base and you fought those grapple droids, those guys kind of posed a threat to you because they were better at melee and stuff and were, like, good at locking you down, which made it harder for your allies to support you. You guys still did pretty good against them, but there were a couple of moments where they got some ones over on you with, like, advantage and stuff where there was a little bit of concern because, like, well, Arma, you've been slammed to the ground and there are grapple droids standing over you, and you're just like, I'm in a pickle.
This is what happens.
So it's interesting to build that kind of rock, paper, scissors in games.
Right.
I think as a game master, you should think about that and try to do that a little bit. Like, not every challenge should be universal to all players. And for more tactical games like D&D, you can kind of do that better. Like, you can look at your party and be like, okay, we're all at about this power level. We can make a challenge that everybody's got to do a little thinking out of the box, right? But also you can be like, okay, so the party's getting kind of complacent. They rely on their big melee hitters to always go in first and leave their shooty guys at the back. We can massage this so that we can do interesting things where, like, maybe we have some really tough enemies that are like a Black Ooze or something squishy that's like, okay, so the melee damage guys are going to have less of an opportunity. So they're going to need, the casters are going to need to do more of the damage, but they usually hang back. So how are we going to, work that out? Or try and set up terrain so that we get ambushed from multiple sides, so we can't just have our blocking force slam into the enemy and be like, hello, hi, now you're in the quagmire. You're being held down by a barbarian and a paladin, to use our group as an example.
Oh, it's this dude.
Yeah, but then what do you do, Axe, when a fucking ninja, like, teleports out of the shadows behind you?
Top banana.
Oh, it's Master Koga. Sorry, I'm just watching the cutscene play out for Lucky. Me excluded, of course. Pop.
And everyone's just like, oh.
I was just like, the little robot is just like, rip.
Oh, yep, nope. She's great. I love her.
Okay. But yeah, so some, like, tactical FPS. Okay, teleport, that's true. You can teleport. But then you'd have to, like, think about that, right? Like, there's some interesting stuff with motion. Also, Axe, I'm going to be real right now. This is going to feel like a deep cut. I'm sorry. But would you actually remember to teleport? You have, in fact, forgotten several times that you can teleport. Like, I don't mean to hurt you, but there's that. Slow's a good one. Slow's good. That's a good spell. That's right. You can cast slow. Bards are weird. Bard is traditionally one of the things I like, but that's it. Yeah, they're weird. And we'll have to see. Now we have extra people in the group. We'll have to see how the dynamic goes with units, because now, depending on what kind of wizard our new wizard is playing, they might be a very big blaster type of wizard, or they might be more of the tactical, like, I have 5 different things prepared today. If we fight oozes, I'll do this. If we fight golems, I'll do this. If we fight enemies that are immune to magic, I'll curl into a ball and cry.
I know that feel.
Correct. Yeah, that's fair. We've already established they are a wizard of a humanoid variety. I mean, can you answer me if I call it right? Do they do special Matt Mercer wizard things? Because we're playing in Wildmount. If not, just say no. But that's always, especially because there's a lot of... Fullcasters have a lot of decent flexibility. So, like, the fact that all we know right now, because we haven't met them in-game, is that they're playing an wizard.
And wizard.
They're a humanoid wizard man. I believe they said that it was a male. A male humanoid of some kind who is a wizard. They have an int score. That's all we know. So that means that, like, they could be, like, an abjuration wizard and do, like, protection and stuff. Or they could be an evocation wizard and just be like, fuck you, fireball. Can we cast fireballs yet? What level is fireball? Now that I can cast a fireball.
One day I should just play it full on. Well, actually, no. I guess that's what Porter, the pork priest, is going to be. He's going to be healing and defense.
Clerics are another thing I haven't touched in D&D, but that'll be really interesting to see in Gensekai.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for that.
That's entirely possible that's going to be our next game after this. I don't know yet.
Yeah,
Because like I said, the Star Wars thing's still ongoing for a while. I'm starting to... I think I've said this before. I kind of see where the forms take, and like what the end game looks like. But we're not quite to that point. We're gonna have to resolve a couple of things and see how it goes and try out some stuff. Because that's the thing. Don't want to overstay the welcome, but it'll definitely do things. Yeah, I don't think I have too much more Speculamans to come out, but team comp's a really interesting thing in a lot of games, and I'll be interested to have more stories about it, I'm sure. Because we don't even know there's an 8th person, because it's 7 players in the Discord private channel now. We don't even know what they do at all. I think I've said this before. No, they have not, Vesper. My plan's either in this game if I die or if I go do something else. I think the next time I play 5e, which I probably will at some point, just because, you know, we're connected to people now and we like games. I probably either want to go full martial and play like a monk or a fighter or something, or go full caster. Because playing a half caster is an experience, to be sure. And sometimes I'm like, gosh, I wish I could just do more magic. But other times I'm like, hee smite go burr.
Jesus. Sorry, I'm just watching Urbosa go. And
Yep, no, because there's a delay even for the control room, I get to hear you say that over Discord and then snap over and be like, yeah, you just blew up a lot of dudes with lightning. You got 300 KOs off that, buddy. 300 total, not 300 at once, probably. I don't know. I didn't see what your number was before it happened. All right, well, I think, like I said, we've exchanged a little bit of the RPG talk. We're at about, what's my audio recording say? About 2 hours? Stream's going for about 2 hours. Ooh, those are really close. Good timing, us. I think we're going to take another break, and then why don't we talk about the Game Awards finally?
Yeah. I think that's our last real big topic.
Yeah, we talked about tabletop. That's one of our big things. We talk about that a lot. If this is your first time listening to a What's Up, we can get in the weeds pretty fast. So that's a big thing we talk about. But yeah, the Game Awards I think is going to be a big one. And so I'm going to go pee really quick. I think I'll pause the audio version.
Yep. I'll keep going.
Lucky we'll keep going streaming. Actually, you know what? Heck it. I don't need to pause the audio. I'll just edit out all the silences.
Yeah, that works.
Lucky can yell.
I'll yell.
And I'll be right back.
You'll be right back. Yeah, got it. Oh, yep, yeah, wrecked. We will keep going. Yes, just look at those thighs. Go. Truly blessed. With a loud attack. Nope, not that. Maybe bombs? There we go. Let's wait for it to recharge and more bombs. Ow. You asshole. Oh. Cutscene. What do we wake up? Oh, it is not happy. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, that's runaway. Yeah, I'd run away too. Let me charge up here for a second. There we go. Wait, how do I fight this fucker? Do I even have to fight this fucker? Let's see.
All right. Here's up. Back.
Oh, so I need to give orders.
And I did catch in chat, somebody did mention I do want to talk about Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Because I have been playing Spider-Man Remastered. But okay, Game Awards first.
Yeah,
Game Awards. Talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Game Awards have announced their nominees for 2020.
Yep.
They'll be the winners will be revealed December 10th, which is a Thursday, so we'll be able to talk about it on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got some interesting stuff. I think it's very interesting to see this setup because I feel like a lot of these are shaped by the fact that Cyberpunk won't be out.
Yeah.
Like they missed the deadline because they got delayed.
Yeah.
So, that's really interesting to see the fact that we're gonna have to see how they do next year. But we'll do the usual. We'll read you through the different categories and nominees. We'll probably skip all the esports one. No offense to esports people, but that's not our. Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
I don't know. I don't know their names. I don't know the team names.
I don't know any of these people. Like, it's not like I voted for anybody randomly. So, like, I just don't know. So we'll skip all that stuff. But yeah, it's gonna come up. Okay, so the big one, Game of the Year. GOTY. The nominees are Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Animal Crossing: New Horizons, and Last of Us Part 2. I almost feel like, well, I don't know. There was a lot of, for multiple reasons, a lot of controversy and cheap heat about Last of Us Part 2. I'm very interested to see it up there, and I have to wonder if Cyberpunk had come out, if it or Animal Crossing would have been dropped, or would have been Doom Eternal. I wonder.
I think it still would have made it on there. I don't know if I said this when Last of Us 2 came out, but like, you know how we have Oscar bait in games? I kind of feel like Last of Us Part 2 was kind of video
was
game.
awards bait. I definitely that sounds about right because I'm not an expert. I still haven't gotten around to playing the first one. I know I want to. It's just I haven't yet. I got it somewhere. I got like the remastered version for 4, which probably ports over to 5 just fine. Just haven't got around to it. But it definitely seemed like, from what people were talking about the game, it definitely felt like the developers, the writers, were going for that. Oh, real storytelling is like super dark and grim and makes you feel things inside. Ugh.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, guys.
So like, I don't know, like, I don't think, like, because I've at least said this, I don't think that Last of Us Part 2 like deserves all the hate that it got. Cause
probably not. No.
But it's definitely like, you guys are doing something a little weird here, and I think you're angling for something that you might not be completely upfront about.
Yeah, like they're trying to aim more for critics than their audience for the first game, which is always a weird move to do in a sequel.
Yeah.
Like, you could have
critically, like, if I remember, like, critic reviewed the game did fucking amazing, which is probably why it's up there.
Yeah, probably. And there's a lot of and there were some what I understand, the gameplay, like, they had actual improvements and stuff, but a lot of that part of it was lost in the negative buzz around the game.
Yeah.
And I don't think it deserved some of that buzz, like people fucking calling out, sending threats to Laura Bailey, who is an angel, just because she played a role. She's an actress. How dare you?
Yeah.
Like, what, you think she was gonna look at it and look at the script and be like, guys, I think this is a bad look for me. No, people don't do that. But yeah, no, like it's interesting to see up there. So, so I had to think long and hard about this one. I know Hades is popular, good for Supergiant, but also they get a lot of accolades. So, so for me, it was personally a pick between FF7 Remake and Ghost of Tsushima, and I personally went with 7 because I'm like, there are definitely, hey guys, spoilers, 7 and Tsushima show up on a lot of nominees. I definitely think there are categories I like Tsushima better fit for. But just with 7 Remake, I'm like, no, the way I feel about Remake is like, I feel like that's a big culmination of a lot of years of work and a lot of love and care and detail of reimagining something, of remaking Final Fantasy VII, which is a touchstone of gaming. So like Game of the Year, I feel like it deserves. But Ghost of Tsushima is another strong contender for the win, I think.
Oh yeah, no, I would definitely go with Remake as well. Probably from I'm kind of probably leaning more into nostalgia and revisiting time, but a lot of effort did go into it.
Yeah, Tsushima's a good choice.
Yeah.
I haven't played Doom Eternal. I don't know how it stacks up to the original one, which I played recently. I don't know if that would be Game of the Year material, but Doom's a solid game, and I would say Eternal is probably similarly solid. And big energy for Hades. That said, on the other hand, Animal Crossing is, while I haven't played it, that's definitely the 2020 game, right? Like, it came out right as the Backstreet Boys started that reunion tour, and like, I think really symbolized a lot of that stuff for people. So I don't know. So next up is Best Game Direction, Outstanding Creative Vision, Innovation in Game Direction and Design. The nominees are Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Last of Us Part 2, and also Half-Life Alyx, which is only, I believe, in VR, so I haven't played it. I believe some people are a little spicy that Alyx wasn't nominated for Game of the Year, probably because it was VR and doesn't have as much reach, you know?
I'm pretty sure those are also... I'm also fairly sure that a lot of those people are the same one who cannot get over how great Half-Life 2 is, ever.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. It happened already, guys. I also personally just went with... Because I think there was a lot of high-level direction that we know about that one in 7, I went with 7 Remake, but that was a big coin flip for me, because I love the creative vision and innovation for both it and Tsushima. Like, that's another tough pick for me.
Honestly, I'd have to go with 7 again with this one, just because they basically took something that already had a formula and decided to literally turn it on its fucking head and do something different with it.
Yeah, that's like I said, for creative vision and innovation, like, no, they did a lot. They turned a turn-based RPG into an action RPG, basically, and made it work pretty good. I know we had our own niggling complaints about the gameplay, but all in all, it was just a really big experience. Like, I've listened to the soundtrack so much, and I just think about it. I have to, when I have more time, one of these days, I'm gonna make sure my saves are transferred, and I'm gonna plug that motherfucker into my PS5, and we're gonna upscale this.
Oh,
we're gonna go full pretty.
Too pretty.
So like there's a lot of effort, but again, Ghost's really good. So next up, Best Narrative. You've got Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Last of Us Part 2, and 13 Sentinels: Aegis Rim. Hey, there's the name.
Oh.
I feel bad for 13 Sentinels. I couldn't pick it for this because I literally haven't played it yet. Good on them for being nominated, though. For a game that just came out, like, earlier this month. Pretty solid. Was it out in Japan for a while first? Is that what's up? I don't know. By the way, they also credit the writers for this as well. So, in this case, I went for Ghost of Tsushima. I had to do that hard coin flip, and I'm like, I feel like we said with the game direction and stuff, shout out to them for doing something new with something old, but 7's story is still mostly fundamentally the same. Like, there's some twists in there for the remake, but for the most part, the game is still, the story is still the story, the characters are still the characters. I don't know how I feel about that beating out over Ghosts for me personally, because that's a, whole brand new narrative, whole cloth. But if you want to go either way, people at home, it's fine with me.
Oh, no, I'm going to go with you. I would definitely go with Ghost of Tsushima. It's a very, very good story on a personal and on a personal level of Jin Sakai.
Yeah, it's a great narrative, and like we said, that's it. That's like this is the whole story, start to finish. That whole saga, like it's all in there. Whereas 7 is like, okay, I like the writing, and I know you guys did some work, but
we're not done. It's not done.
It's not done, and also it's a remake. We already knew most of the narrative beats. Like I like the twists and stuff, but that I think falls under game direction, like doing new and interesting things with the game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, hey, best art direction. Guess who's in this one, guys?
I'm listening.
Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Last of Us Part 2, and Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I had to give it to Final Fantasy VII Remake for this one, just because, goddamn,
Hades
that
is
game
good.
is so pretty.
Hades is good, and I love their character design, but overall, it's like it's the fucking.
It's Supergiant. It's another Supergiant game. Like I don't want to shame those guys. They make good stuff. I haven't played a lot of them, but I've played them and I've seen them. They look good.
But like they also kind of look the same. They're all
I was about to say, but they have a definite style, right?
Yeah. Like so,
I mean, yeah, like I couldn't personally vote for Ori, but I would not be shocked if Ori wins. That is a game that is also like poetry in motion. That said, for 7, I think I talked about this. Well, even for Ghost too, like it's rough. Ghost is also very pretty.
No,
both it and 7 Remake for me have the every frame a painting kind of look to them.
I'm gonna say Ghost of Tsushima for me because, while Final Fantasy VII definitely had like those moments where you just have to stop and look. You can literally stop at any fucking point in Ghost of Tsushima and be all like.
That's true. They had a powerful photo mode. Oh, by the way, I should read the subtitle out for the people who aren't looking at this live. It's for outstanding creative and/or technical achievement in artistic design and animation.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna go with Ghost of Tsushima.
I'm actually kind of surprised to see Last of Us Part 2 up here. I'm like, I know they did some like motion and performance capture stuff, but was that game really like outstanding in an art aspect?
I don't know.
Don't know. Can't say. Haven't played it, but it doesn't seem like it. Next up, best score and music for outstanding music inclusive of score, original song, and/or licensed soundtracks. So interestingly, Ghost of Tsushima does not go on here. It was a little sad.
We've got. It kind of does have a minimalist fucking.
Yes, it's good, but you're right. It is very minimalist. So we're looking at Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Hades, Ori, and Last of Us Part 2. For me, no fucking contest. 7.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go 7 too. I will say though, Hades OST real fucking good though.
Mm-hmm. And Eternal, the Doom and Doom Eternal music does slap, but God, I live and breathe that 7 remake soundtrack. It's so good. Like they did so much effort to remix and reimagine old music, make new music. It's powerful. Now, this is a thing that interestingly Ghost of Tsushima was nominated for that 7 was not. Best audio design, recognizing the best in-game audio and sound design, Doom Eternal, Half-Life Alyx, Ghost of Tsushima, Resident Evil 3, Last of Us Part 2. I give it to Ghost of Tsushima for this, because goddamn. Like, talk about minimalist sound design. The sound cues and the little touches in Ghosts are really good. Like, all the little audio bits and everything.
Oh, wait, what? I'm not attacking them anymore. No, like, I'm just thinking about, like for like audio design, just anytime you do a haiku, I'm just like, yeah, no. Let me just put this on like fucking forever.
Yeah. And just, the fact that you can hear like, hey, is that a bird crying? Yeah, that's a fucking golden bird over there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they have all these little moments, all the little sound effects, the voice cues. Like it's a solid package. Best performance awarded to an individual for voice acting, motion, and/or performance capture.
Oh, this dude's literally eating a banana.
So we've got Ashley Johnson as Ellie, Last of Us Part 2. Laura Bailey as Abby, Last of Us Part 2. Daisuke Tsuji as Jin Sakai, Ghost of Tsushima. Mm-hmm. Logan Cunningham as Hades in Hades. And Naji Jeter as Miles Morales in Spider-Man Miles Morales. I give it to Tsuji. Even though I did not play, I believe that's the English VA. I didn't play it in English, but I've heard the clips. He do goo.
Oh yeah.
This is also, by the way, going to be very interesting to see how this turns out with the popular vote because of those 2 Last of Us Part 2s.
Like honestly, from what I heard they gave actually really good performances, but
yeah, but the characters and some of the character choices in the game are controversial. So I'm very interested to see how people will feel about that.
Yeah.
Also, I find this hilarious. I wonder if they'll talk about it. Not that I'm caught up, but I am back into catching up with Critical Role again, and that's funny because Ashley Johnson and Laura Bailey are both in Critical Role. So that's going to be funny. I don't know if they've talked about that at all. I know they occasionally make jokes about it. Like Ashley Johnson has joked about being Ellie and been like, make jokes about get on the fucking pallet, stuff like that. But yeah, so that's a good solid con. I think it's the only one that Miles Morales has on here so far. We got games for impact, thought-provoking, pro-social or meaning or messages games. We've got If Found, Kentucky Route Zero TV edition, Spirit Fair, Tell Me Why, and Through the Darkest of Times. I'm not really super familiar with any of these.
I'm sorry, me neither.
I've seen some clips of Spirit Fair. It looks pretty good. And I've heard of Kentucky Route Zero before, but never played it. So it's just kind of a, good for them categories. We've got Best Ongoing, which is kind of makes me sad. Just because of the names that are in it. It's the ones you'd expect. Best awarded to games for outstanding development of outgoing content that evolves player experience over time. You've got Apex Legends, you've got Destiny 2, you've got Call of Duty Warzone, you've got Fortnite, and you've got No Man's Sky.
I'm not interested in any of these things.
Yeah. I mean, I think highly of what they're doing with No Man's Sky. I still need to pick that game up and play it, but they've done a lot for it, so shout out to them for kind of really flipping people on that. But yeah, I'm just like, yeah, a lot of these are like... I haven't played any of the stuff of Destiny 2 recently, so I can't comment. I like Destiny, though. I just haven't played it in a while, because expansions. And, like... Yeah, fucking Battle Royale shooters, I have no opinion, guys. So, yeah, that's me. Next up is Best Indie for outstanding creative and technical development in a game made outside of the traditional publisher system. We've got Carrion, Fall Guys, Hades, Spelunky 2, and Spiritfarer. I went with Fall Guys.
I'm gonna go with Hades.
Solid choice. I still haven't played Hades personally.
Actually, it's still installed on my computer, and I like it. Lucky's not the biggest fan of roguelike games because I hate losing progress because you ain't good enough. Which is basically what the roguelike essential is. It's basically do it in one try or you just fucking suck.
Yeah, kinda. I really didn't know they made a Spelunky 2.
They did, yeah.
I've seen the first one played a little bit. But yeah, solid choices. Good to see Fall Guys got some representation. They deserve it. They really took the world by storm.
Yep.
Speaking of representation and taking by storm, also, so we're going to do Best Mobile Game. I'm going to warn you, this makes me sassy. There's a couple of things on here that make me sassy. But the nominees are Among Us, Call of Duty Mobile, Genshin Impact, Legends of Runeterra, and Pokemon Cafe Mix. So I'm a little sassy about this because, one, Among Us is on here despite the fact that the game is fucking 2 years old. Like, I know it didn't get popular until now, but I feel a little sassy about this. And also Genshin kind of cheating its way on there because, yes, it is available on mobile, but it's also on PCs and consoles. But I guess it was the first gacha game that really popped in the public consciousness.
Yeah.
But, like, in case you guys can't tell, I'm sassy that FGO's never been nominated, even though we have built our channel around it, and it's actually a really good game with, like, really good elements that will probably never get on this list because it's that weird anime phone game.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lucky, thoughts?
I guess I'd get, like, on the most technical level, I guess I'll go with Genshin Impact.
Yeah, I also went with Genshin. I like Among Us a lot, but I feel like Genshin is definitely, like, a bigger and better deal.
Like, it's still 2 years old, and remember, you have, like, to play Among Us, you need other people. Like,
yeah.
So...
I'm glad it did a comeback. It really pops in the spear. It's a really good game. I'm glad to see what they do with the updates, but it's also like, man, that's kind of a little, it's a little weird. It's interesting to see it pop on the screen. Genshin has a lot of stuff going for it. It's brand new. I know. We'll have to see how that goes out.
Suga, you're wild.
So we've got best community support, game for outstanding community support, transparency, responsiveness, social media, game pages, updates, etc. Basically, who updates the best? So you've got Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Fall Guys, Fortnite, No Man's Sky, Valorant. I do feel kind of sassy that this is also just the best ongoing game category fucking again. That is a problem the Game Awards has sometimes where certain games will just get stacked in categories and it feels a little unfair. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'd go with Fallout. Because, like, I want to give shout-outs to No Man's Sky, but I haven't actually played it, so I've fallen off playing Fall Guys, but it was pretty good. And they did some work.
Oh, I get on.
They deserve some kudos. They're very big this day. Sky's a big choice. Actually, let's check. Are people?
I would.
No, people aren't really going apeshit in YouTube chat. I wanted to make sure I'm not missing out anybody's in commentary.
I would. I'd probably actually go with Fall Guys. Like they've been very upfront in a bunch of stuff. Even like with stuff, dealing with patches, weird things, hackers, and just like, yeah, no, this is what's happening. They have a lot of
very,
fun.
especially that transparency aspect.
Yeah.
They're very, very catchy in social media.
Yeah,
and it's a good look for them. They will make it work.
Mm-hmm.
So best VR AR. Weird that they're all together. But we've got Dreams, Half-Life Alyx, Iron Man VR, Star Wars Squadrons, and The Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners. I don't think Squadrons got nominated for a lot of other awards, so I went with them because they deserve to win something because they're really good. Actually, I should mention they've announced they're doing a content DLC. They're going to do a new map, and they're actually going to add new ships. They're going to add the B-Wing and TIE Defender, guys. They heard you.
Yeah.
I'm going to be super excited for that. That's another game I need to make sure my saves are transferred and throw on my PS5 sometime. I bet that's super pretty. But yeah, so I voted for them obviously because I'm me, and I've played the game normally. I'm pretty sure the VR experience is pretty good. I don't know a lot about other than these. I guess the other big contender would probably be Half-Life Alyx. Just
that's my vote. Like, as I've seen a bit of Half-Life Alyx, and I've seen some of the weird physics stuff they've done, and I'm like, no, that's pretty cool. If I had VR and I cared more about Half-Life, I'd totally play this.
So here's an interesting category that I feel like I can't vote in because whatever these games have done doesn't affect me. But it's innovations and accessibility. Recognizing software or hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be enjoyed by an even wider audience.
Okay.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Grounded, Hyper Dot, Last of Us Part 2, Watch Dogs Legion. And I'm like, okay, I got to take it on you that these guys moved the needle in accessibility because I don't know anything about those features, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not going to vote. I don't know. I don't want to give anybody false kudos. If they did something good, I'm interested to see who wins this category. So next up, best action game. We're getting into genres now. Our nominees are Doom Eternal, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, Neo 2, and Streets of Rage 4. None of these games I've gotten around to playing yet.
That's a gut feeling. I just want to give it to Neo 2 because I really like Neo, and I heard that Neo 2 was just an improvement in every way. But I have a feeling that it's probably going to be Hades because Hades combat is very solid. And as I know, voters are fucking sadists, and they love games where they are punished constantly.
All right. Yeah, did I not vote in this category either? Well, I'll go ahead and tag that. The voting got a little glitchy, so I might have some bad ones. I might have to resubmit my votes. But so, best action adventure game. Best action adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving. Great that they actually really defined action adventure there. This is a rough category for me, though, by the way. So our nominees are, there's 6 now, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Jedi Fallen Order, and Last of Us Part 2. I got to give it to Ghost of Tsushima, obviously, but that's a rough pick for me with Fallen Order on there. That was a really good game.
Yeah. I have to think on that, actually, for a second.
Traversal and puzzle solving with combat.
Honestly, if we're gonna talk about puzzle solving plus traversal, I actually have to give it. I think I'm gonna have to actually give this to Fallen Order, cause exploration was.
It's like true. The adventure part was a lot bigger in Fallen Order.
Yeah,
that had a lot of big adventure feels.
Big adventure feels, and. Well, the combat is great in Ghost of Tsushima. Just being fucking I forgot his fucking name now. Something Kestis?
Cal Kestis.
Cal Kestis. And as you just relearn being a fucking Jedi, as you go from single to dual to double, and just everything in between all that, I feel like it's just something.
Oh my god, what fucking website backend are you running, Game Awards? Sorry, I switched my vote, and apparently that was that's it. Chrome can't do it anymore. Chrome's dying. I don't know what the fuck their backend is, but my browser is totally tanking. Luckily, it looks like Audacity is running okay, and I can still hear Lucky and stuff.
Okay, good.
I might need to close this tab and reopen if it'll let me. And part of that might just be Chrome's fault because it loves to eat memory, but I'm wondering, Christ, guys, what on your website design? That's something that I think people still need to do more is remember that not everybody has modern supercomputers. Like, some people are still playing on, like, laptops and shit or checking on their phones.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just do some low-res runs. Don't do all your fancy JavaScript shit. I know you pay people for that, but, like, pay them to design something minimalist that everybody can look at without me freaking out just because I've got a couple of extra tabs open. So it'll take me a second to reboot the tabs. Yeah, I know. It's honestly, thinking about it, it's kind of weird that open world action games get thrown in action adventure, because yeah, they are kind of adventurous, but some of them aren't. Like I'm playing Spiderman right now, and I will talk about it later, but it's definitely like, gosh, do I think that Spiderman, like, technically I would say, yeah, I guess Spider-Man's an action adventure game, but it's not really that adventurous. Like, yeah, you've got the city to explore and you got to unlock towers and all that, but like, you don't really have adventures per se. You scoot across town, you find stuff to do, and you punch them. Like, I almost feel like that style of open world game should, like, be separate somehow, but I really don't know what we'd call that, because those are technically in the action adventure type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now here we go. Here's another big one.
Mm-hmm.
Best role-playing game.
Oh, no.
For the best designed rich experience with rich player customization and progression, including massively multiplayer experiences, we've got Final Fantasy VII Remake, Genshin Impact, Persona 5 Royal, Wasteland 3, and Yakuza Like a Dragon, which is, I believe, Yakuza 7?
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, this is probably one of the most cutthroat, drag-out categories we've got this year. Like, all of these are good.
Mm-hmm.
I personally probably... Again, I like Royal. I'm still not finished with it, but I like it. And I like what they did to the changes over 5. And 5 was such a defining game, but the version they're updating still came out in the past couple of years. 7, is updating a game that's like almost 20 years old now, or over 20 years old. Like, it's a different beast, and I definitely feel like I want to give it to 7, but it's a rough pick.
Yeah.
I don't know, and a lot of non-weebs in the audience are going to give it to Wasteland 3. I haven't really tried it out, but I know those series have some pretty...
I keep meaning to try out
RPG
Wasteland,
roots.
but I always forget. But no, 7.
Yeah, tough one.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be interested to see like how they do. I'll be shocked if Genshin wins, but also, it's on there. It's good for them to get nominated. I don't know how much other countries pay attention to the Game Awards, but that's pretty good for this game that's come out only a couple of months to have jumped into a lot of slots in the Game Awards.
Hey, even
so here's another interesting one. Oh, go ahead, Lucky.
I'm gonna say it. Just getting a nomination is an award in its own right.
Yeah, I know there are some jokes about it's an honor to be nominated, but again, that's something with a lot of these things that it's really good that some of these games get it. What I'm slightly confused is why they have different numbers of nominees in different categories. Like, Action Adventure had 6, but both Action and RPG have 5. As does Best Fighting. This is, by the way, I think the dumbest way to phrase a fighting game. Designed primarily around head-to-head combat.
Head-to-head.
I don't know if that's the best way you describe that, but our nominees are Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate, specifically Ultimate, Street Fighter V Champion Edition, as opposed to all those other Street Fighter Vs, One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows, and Under Night in Birth EXE Late CLR, which is a French-bred Axis game.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't played any of these fighting games, so I'm not sure how to think myself.
I feel like I want to vote for Grand Blue Fantasy Versus because it's also done by Arxis, and I love them.
It looks good. Like, if I was to get into it, I would try.
But I am pretty sure that Mortal Kombat's gonna win for some odd reason.
It might, though. I like how Dallas, one of our biggest Mortal Kombat stands, is like, Grand Blue Fantasy should probably win because all the rest of those games came out several years ago. That is a weird thing with fighting games, is that they do these re-releases in bundles. Like, I joked about, as opposed to all the other Street Fighter Vs, because there's been a couple. And I do think it is a little weird for those games to keep coming back. All right, we're back up to 6 nominees. Best Family Game. Best game appropriate for family play, irrespective of genre or platform. So you've got Animal Crossing, Crash Bandicoot 4, Fall Guys, Mario Kart Live, Minecraft Dungeons, and Paper Mario: The Origami King. Some of these are a little weird choices for family play. Like, Paper Mario is an RPG. I don't know if that's family appropriate, just because I can't imagine you actually sitting with your family and doing that. And I haven't played Crash 4.
I'd have to say Animal Crossing, honestly.
It's a pretty good game. It deserves some love. It's a big standout this year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So next we've got best sim/strategy, which is a really interesting kit bash category, guys. Best game based on real-time or turn-based simulation or strategy gameplay, irrespective of platform. So this is Lucky. Tell me if this category doesn't sound weird to you.
I'm listening.
We've got Crusader Kings 3, Desperados 3, Gears Tactics, XCOM Chimera Squad, and Microsoft Flight Simulator. I feel like they just didn't have enough simulation games to give it a category, so they tacked on Microsoft Flight Sim to strategy. Like, that's weird. It's really weird, guys. I voted for Chimera Squad, by the way. I haven't played it yet, but I want it to win.
It's a fun game. It's a good XCOM game, but
hey, it's sitting in my launcher for Civ 6, so I'll get to it.
Oh yeah. But let's see. If I have to go between Chimera Squad, I'd probably go between Chimera Squad and Crusader Kings. A lot of people were all about that Crusader Kings when it first came out.
Yeah, it's a very popular title. I've played around a little with 2. It's an interesting game style. But okay, let's move on to best sports/racing. Another weird kit bash, but it's a pretty common one. For the best traditional and non-traditional sports and racing game. So you've got Dirt 5, F1 2020. Neither of those 2 games I think I've heard of. FIFA 21, and NBA 2K21, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2.
I just want to give it back to Tony Hawk because that was that was youth.
Same. Hey, Tony Hawk came back. I'd love to give it to them.
Yeah.
Also, because aren't people yelling about all the dumb stuff 2K21's doing?
Probably. And honestly, FIFA. It's fucking FIFA.
You do it every year. Also, I gotta be honest. EA already makes a bajillion bucks off their sports games, and they don't need to win awards too. Have awards.
Listen, I work in a. Do you know what is literally the single most type of game we get in Goodwill? Fucking sports games. We get a fuck ton of sports games.
Yeah, duh. Because you upgrade every year.
They upgrade every year, and people just immediately yeet us their fucking old copy. So it's just like.
So here's a category I think for the general audience is going to be very interesting, but it's going to be a very easy pick for us. Best multiplayer for outstanding online multiplayer experience and design, including co-op and massive multiplayer experiences, irrespective of game genre or platform. Our nominees are Animal Crossing: New Horizons, Among Us, Call of Duty Warzone, Fall Guys, and Valorant. So I obviously gave it to Among Us because that is my multiplayer standout game of the year for sure.
Yeah. Like, if it wasn't Among Us, I'd say Fall Guys, because until Among Us, Fall Guys was the thing we did, but. And then we got to.
For us, I think Among Us works much better than Fall Guys. Again, I have no bad vibes versus Fall Guys, but it was definitely a little bit of a. It's a little bit of a slog to get in there and go through the rounds, and like I like what they did, but it's still I don't play it very much in my casual time.
Mm-hmm.
But like Among Us is good, and it's really easy to just pick up and fire. Like let's do. I go into the community and I yell out Among Us, and then like 12 people show up, and that's too many people. Like honestly, I think if you and I both yelled for Among Us, we could probably get enough people for 2 games if we tried hard enough.
Probably.
But yeah, so I voted for Among Us. It's a good pick. Honestly, all these games are pretty good. Again, like Valorant's not my style, but I know people play it, so. Okay, so here is one I want to read just for people because it's not really an esports thing, but I don't have a lot of stake in this race. But this is Content Creator of the Year for a streamer or content creator who's made important positive impact on the community in 2020. The nominees are Alana Pierce, Jayan Lopez, Nick Merckx, Tim the Tapman, and Valkyrie. You probably heard of some of these names if you follow any of them. I know of Alana Pierce she works with Funhouse right now, but she also does a lot of independent streaming and stuff. She's been in other streamers and things. So I'm like, I'll give her the nod. I know that person. I've seen her on my screen, but I don't know a lot about these other guys. I just wanted to, throw that out there and be like, hey, what do you guys think? Do you know any of these people?
Yeah, Lucky doesn't know any of these people, so he has nothing to say.
But I throw it out for the audience. I mean, like, fair enough. So this is another interesting one. Best debut game. Best game debuted by an new independent studio. So we've got Carrion by Phobia Game Studio, which this picture looks familiar, but I don't remember the game. Mortal Shell by Cold Symmetry. Raji and Ancient Epic by Notting Head Games. And Roki by Polygon Treehouse. Haven't heard of those three middle ones. And Phasmophobia by Kinetic Games.
Ooh,
That's a game Phasma's a big breakout. We have not played it yet, and we probably should sometime. We'd have to find some other assholes to play it with, though. But it's an interesting game type for sure, and I've seen it played, and it's a big breakout. It's very popular right now.
Yeah, like, if it wasn't for Phasmophobia being on there, I would say Carry On. Because if I remember, Carry On's the game where you basically play a fucking Synodic escaping evil science experiment, and you just grow bigger, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that kind of looks like the gameplay from the slide. But yeah, no, Phasmophobia, that's a big breakout hit.
Yeah.
That is a big debut game. And because, like I said, unfortunately, I'm sure those games are nice and all. They've been nominated. Those middle three, haven't heard of them. I'm sorry. That means you did not debut big. And now I think, let me double check if any of these are not, because we start at Best Esports Athlete, Coach, Event, Game for Esports. I mean, that's the best esports game. We could technically vote. I should vote against something that's not Fortnite, so Fortnite doesn't win. But other than that, there's not a lot. Best esports host. Nah, I don't really recognize any of those people. Best esports team. That's it. Yeah. So everything else is esports. Again, no offense if you follow esports, if you play esports, whatever, but we don't. So, like, much like that content creator of the year, that's, like, literally who? Like, I mean, good for you guys. You still play games professionally. That's the dream. Good on you, but I don't know anything about this. And that's the Game Awards. I think, honestly, I'm very curious to see how this turns out with the way people have been experiencing the year that is 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. Will people have forgotten about the negative buzz about Last of Us Part 2 because the whole thing happened? Probably not, no. People are people. They hold grudges.
Yeah, they do.
So, like, yeah, but I'm very interested to see how this stacks up because I think 7's a powerful contender. It's got a lot of energy behind it, but also some people are really diehards for the original and don't like what the remake did. And I mean, I can't say that their opinions are quote unquote wrong. I don't agree though. But
yeah,
those people probably won't vote for it to be the winner. So I want to see how it stacks up. Hades, I know, has been really popular lately, but Ghost of Tsushima was a big swing. Kind of I would say probably the last big huzzah of the four.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that you can play like Miles Morales and some other games on the PS4, but I don't think people are going to think about them as PS4 games,
No, like, I'm not going to get it until I get a PS5.
Yeah. Like I said, it's the first game I bought for my PS5 was the Ultimate, so I could do Spiderman and Miles Morales. No, that's a game people aren't going to think of, but as the big finish to the PS4, Ghost is a big one, and that's gonna pull in some awards, which is really great for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's another thing. Like, I think 7 should win some of these categories, I think they can go home just knowing they were nominated. Just because they're fucking Final Fantasy VII Remake. They know they're a big deal, right? I do think they genuinely deserve some of these awards, but it's also like, Like, I don't know if I'm going to call them being robbed on any of these categories if they miss out. Like, I don't know. I might be a little sassy if they don't win music, but most of the other titles in there are good. And it'll always be interesting to see what wins in some of these categories that we're a little more nebulous on. I'm very curious to see how mobile turns out. Like, I want to see how Genshin does as a brand new game. Stuff like that. And see where people... It's an interesting to see where people are thinking and see how they feel about this year. Like I think in some of those categories it's in, like Animal Crossing probably has a strong contender because I think that's one of the like, talking about Game of the Year... Dallas, don't say that. You don't know that, actually. Like, I know the game is good and it has good music, but it's also not Final Fantasy VII Remake, which has a literally iconic soundtrack because it's the Final Fantasy VII soundtrack. Like, yeah, like it's a big deal in history. Like, in some of these cases, I almost feel like 7 is the 800-pound gorilla, right? Like, it's like, that seems like some of these cases I'm like, that feels almost like unfair just because there's so much hype around it. But also, you never know with public voting, right?
Yeah. We will see.
And I believe we've talked about this. The way that the Game Awards does it is that they do curated voting. Like, they have a panel of judges pick the nominees and nominate them, and then they let the public vote. So the people judging know this, and I think they have pretty good taste. Though I will say, the fact that the judges make the nominees is probably why you see Last of Us Part 2 so often. But no, I'm interested to see. We'll see what happens. I don't think I've got any real... I'm not pre-spiced about anything other than I'm a little sassy about the mobile game shot just because Among Us got in there after 2 years. And I'm like, okay, guys, that's a little... I know it only popped this year, and you've only just now realized it was a good game, and you want to give it credit, but still, like, there's some other stuff out there. Gosh, do you think we'd get an... I know FGO would get an influx of downloads if they actually got a nominee. Do you think we'd get, like, there'd be people popping off searching for it? I wonder.
Maybe.
Hypothetical.
I want them to win so they'll fucking give us free Saint Quartz.
That's true. That would be a thing. Heck, even nominated, they'd probably throw out a little... I guess that's true. It came out of beta this year. But they didn't put it in best ongoing. Whatever. Some of the categories are a little weird. Like I said, that simulation and strategy is very much the like, shit, we've only got 1 sim game and 4 strategy games. What do we do? Because I'm going to be real. You cannot tell me that simulation games like Microsoft's Flight Sim and tactics games like XCOM Chimera Squad are the same fucking genre. That is not how that works, guys. Like, maybe I'd give it to you if you put, like, Civ in there instead, because 4X games are usually considered strategy games at the same time. They're just a very specific flavor. Mm-hmm. But, like, Microsoft Flight Sim? Really?
Really?
I mean, I'm not gonna say it's a bad game or anything. Like, I'm sure it's good. I know that a lot of people who like those flight simulators like it, but yeah, it's a little weird. All right, closing the nominees tab. Going for about 2:45. So I guess we should run this up with our last big topic that I had, which is talk about Spiderman. Emissary from Hell. Spiderman. Oh, actually, also, did Disney Plus say they're going to put fucking Japanese Spider-Man on there? I think I saw that in our Discord.
They said that's something that they're going to talk. They're going to have a document about Japanese Spider-Man or something.
Okay, uncover that across. Okay, yeah. So it's a series called Marvel 616, and they're going to talk about different episodes. One of which will be about Japanese Spider-Man. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they could dig up the footage and licensing and throw it on there. Still super cool. If you haven't ever, I think that was in the middle of a What's Up once. Lucky blasted me out of nowhere with Japanese Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
It's a trip, guys. Check it out. It's a great. And they've got a couple of references in there. So I'm playing Spider-Man Remastered. As I knew I would. I decided I would get the Ultimate Edition. I'd pay the extra $10 or whatever, or maybe 20 in this case. And I'd get the bundle. I'd get them both together. So this is a thing I've heard. I don't think it's been fixed yet. Do be careful if you are one of the lucky few to have a PS5. There are apparently some glitches with rest mode right now, especially particularly pertaining to Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Remastered, where your console can get in a bad way if you rest mode it while the game is running. I have either been quitting out of the game or I've been just shutting the game down, shutting the whole console down. Because I'm usually a rest mode guy all the time, but honestly, like the PS5 is so fast, it's not huge inconvenience. But yeah, just keep that in mind, folks. But yeah, so I've been playing Spider-Man Remastered. You can see me stream it. Guess what, guys? I love it immediately. This shouldn't really be a shocker. Like, I knew I would like it. Because I think of myself as a Spider-Man guy. Like, Spider-Man's always been my guy. For several reasons. And specifically Peter Parker. Though I don't mind some of the other Spider-Man. Like, Into the Spider-Verse is an amazing film. So I'll be interested to see how they handled Miles Morales in that one when we get there. But yeah, so I'm playing Spider-Man Remastered. I don't think I'm super far in the story, just because I keep getting distracted with like, ooh, shiny thing. Like, they're like, hey, Spider-Man, activate some towers. And I'm like, I'll activate some towers. And like, hey, Spider-Man, do you want a cool new negative image suit? I'm like, I do. I have to go punch 2 bases to get this suit? Sure, I'll do that. Like, it's definitely one of those open world games where you easily get distracted. It's the same with when I played Ghost of Tsushima, where I was like, I think there's a Mongol camp over here.
I think it was one of the great thing about like Spider-Man, how it's so easy, because it's just so fun to fucking travel around.
Yeah, no, I have a lot of fun. I actually went out of my way to spend a skill point to get the sick tricks option, so I can do sweet flips, spider salts, moon flips, the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Spider spin, yeah. So, the fact that it's small, but you get EXP for that is great. Like, yeah, so, no, like, and it took me a little bit to get, and you can see this in the stream, it took me a little bit to get the hang of the traversal, because there's a lot of options even before you start buying upgrades. So it took me a while to really pinpoint how best to do it and just start, swinging around, running up walls, doing all the stuff.
Oh, I can switch weapons mid-fight? Wild. I didn't know that.
That's pretty. So and like you say, Lucky, it's really fun. Like, I don't even think if I can fast travel, I haven't found a button for it. And I don't really care because it's like, oh, that's across town. I'll be there in like 5 minutes. I'm Spider-Man. Like, it's a lot of fun to just get out there and swing around and see stuff. And occasionally, you'll stumble into an ongoing world event. Crimes in progress. You'll happen to stray across one of Pete's old backpacks, whatever. And you can get tokens and have some fun stuff. Got a lot of fun collectibles. The game, ultra super pretty on the PS5. Really flowing. I did the performance setting before, which uncaps you to 60. I have since switched down to fidelity, which is, it's only 30, but it gives you all the, like, God rays and all that extra shit. Mm-hmm. And just, like, it's just really pretty to look at. And there's a lot of ambient stuff going on. Fog, birds, all the stuff. It's really neat. It's an interesting take on Spider-Man. Like, they've done a lot with the fact that people know who Spider-Man is, so there's no origin story. Love it. Great choice. Mm-hmm. But also, it's not like how Marvel is doing Spider-Man right now with, like, Pete still in high school and all that stuff. Like, you are 20-something Peter Parker, can't pay the fucking rent, Peter Parker, working 5 jobs, Peter Parker.
Peter Parker can't keep his mouth shut in a fight.
Oh no, he cannot. And I love that's the Spidey thing. That's one of the reasons why I've always liked Spider-Man. He's very bantsy. Did a boss fight with a Shocker, and he's like, Herman, come on, open up to me. And Shocker's just like, no, boom, shockwave. Which it took me a while, by the way, to figure out that one. That boss fight. I was like, oh wait, I'm inside. There's a roof. Can I swing inside? Yes, I can. Okay, I see now. Like, the game doesn't necessarily teach you everything right away either. Which is a mixed bag. Sometimes I feel like it could be a little bit more like, hey, stupid, you can still swing inside. But other times it's like, nah, I figured it out on my own. I figured it out. So I have a lot of fun with it. I've always liked Spider-Man, and this is a really good game. I don't think I've played a Spider-Man game since probably Spider-Man on the PS2 era.
Actually, that's one of the games I got.
Nice. Classy.
It's actually unopened. It's still in fucking plastic.
Interesting. I probably still have my copy sitting around because I haven't gotten rid of many of my PS2 games, even if I can't play them right now. But yeah, no, like, it's been a little while, but I do really appreciate Spider-Man, and it's got a great feel. I love I love that they've got a very comprehensive Spider-Man. Like, Pete has gadgets. He is a smart kid. Like, he wanted to be a scientist. He was a huge nerd before he got super strength from being bitten by a radioactive spider, right? Yeah. So, like, you're out there doing science and shit, building gadgets, upgrading gadgets. The suits thing, I think, really does capture another Spider-Man thing. Spider-Man is a lot like Batman in that every time he comes across a specific problem, he is almost always, like, making a specific solution towards it, right?
Yeah.
So you've got a lot of fun suits and fun suit abilities you can play around with. I really like that. And also a lot of them look really cool. Like I said, I got the ability to do the negative suit, and I'm just like, this is just sick, doing the negative image look, right? Or they've got the stealth suit and the noir suit.
I can't remember the name of it, but there's a suit that Black Cat gives you.
Yeah, I have. By the way, Remastered comes with all the DLC. I have not stepped aside to do those yet, but I will.
I should. When I get my PS5, I'll probably pick it up because I platinumed the base game Spider-Man, but I never did any of the DLC because I borrowed the game from a friend. So I'm like,
Yeah, so it's got the whole kit and caboodle. And yeah, and just in general, having a really great time with it. Like it a lot. There's a little bit of the fights can get a little dicey. You gotta really master your Arkham Asylum style dodging. Mm-hmm. But also you're Spider-Man, so that makes sense too.
The tingle.
Just like whoop. But I have a lot of fun with the game. It's really good. Immediately makes me think about a lot of our classic stuff. Because that's where we got our start as a gaming group. Was you joined my Wild Talents game that was in progress.
Yep.
And it's just I like that feel because it's like the town is a little lived in. Spider-Man's doing it for like 8 years. J. Jonah Jameson is like an Alex Jones type guy, has a fucking conspiracy podcast, which of course Peter, the total masochist, listens to regularly. Just like Like he's got his suit hooked up to his RSS feed or something, and just episodes will just play while you're chilling and just be like,
No, that's
on the one hand, I love it. I love Jay Jonah, but also just like, Pete, what are you doing?
Well, honestly, I just love his whole. This is the thing that I loved about the game is Pete has a fucking presence in his city. He has a social media account for Spider-Man.
Because of course you fucking do. Like that's another thing. Like I can't imagine that they wouldn't do that, right?
Yeah. Fucking, you can go walk on the street and give people high fives and awkward hugs.
Yeah, because people love Spider-Man. You can also make people eat shit if you land in front of them suddenly.
Yeah.
On stream, I scared a couple of cops, and they just went like, dove. Even though I'm like, guys, it's me, Spider-Man. My favorite Spider-Man. Repairman.
Fucking fast travel is Spider-Man literally chilling on the subway, sometimes with other people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
now, one unfortunate thing about the PS5 version is the load times are so lightning fast, you don't even get to see those anymore.
Oh, no.
It's a little sad.
That is sad.
There are some cases where stuff is scripted, where they will still show you the little cutscenes. Like, for a story chapter, I had to wait until morning, and it showed Spider-Man just watching his phone, eating a donut.
Mm-hmm.
Or a bagel. Like, that still plays, but for just casual stuff, the load times are just so... Like, and speaking of load times, by the way, I had a crash on stream. The game suddenly crashed in the middle of a cutscene. I was able to report the error, open the game up, load, get into the cutscene. I think it took me less than 60 seconds.
Wow.
Like, it was laser fast. I was shocked. And it's an autosave game, so I was right back there at the start of that same cutscene that it accidentally crashed in. Like, wild. Mm-hmm. They are not kidding about that load time speed. But yeah, so that is an unfortunate thing, is I haven't seen too many of those little inserts. But yeah, they're fun. They're there. Mm-hmm. And like you said, there's a real organicness. Like the bags are just full of all of Pete's memories.
Mm-hmm.
I do like. I think Dallas brought up on Discord that there's some of these.
Wife. Sorry.
Yeah, came on stream. Miva is here. But there are some very interesting characters you're hanging out with. Like, you are working for Otto Octavius right away, and like everybody's like I can feel the game immediately going for the audience know how this is gonna go, but in game they don't, right?
Oh no, it's gonna be good. I'm
ready
for you to get there.
Oh yeah, no, I'm starting to feel what's probably coming, because in story. I think my next story quest is Otto is like, Peter, you might not actually be fired. Come meet me by the docks. And I'm like, oh, no. No, Dr. Octavius, no, that's a bad sign. Because I can feel the almost turn of like I can feel the mad science revenge creeping up on Doc Ock, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You can see this the way this is going from a mile out, and it's great. Fucking Norman's in it, and you're just like, hey Norman, how you doing?
I forgot. Did you already do the part where you meet the cop and he completely just saves your ass? I forget.
No, I don't think so.
Damn it. Okay, well,
spoilers. I think that might be the next story beat. Doc Ock might just have been calling you about that. That might be. I have to meet him at the docks. By the way, love Spider-Man's relationship with Yuri Watanabe. Spider Cop. Speaking of Yuri Lowenthal, great delivery as Peter Parker. Outstanding performance.
Yeah, no,
love it.
Great. No,
he's a great VA, and he brings that spicy Peter Parker energy to everything.
Spider Cop.
And Yuri's just like, no, Spider-Man, don't do this to me. And he's like,
do it.
And Peter just goes, the chief didn't respect Spider Cop.
It's so good.
And I mean, part of that's just how sassy Peter has always been, but I also just get the impression that, like, nah, this is a veteran 8-year Spider-Man, right? Like, he's just... He knows what he's doing. He just has to fill the time sometimes. Yeah,
also,
he's past the how do I shot web stage.
Yeah.
Sorry, I cut you off a little bit there. What were you saying?
And no, it's just good character. Like, honestly, another thing about Spider-Man is it's just good character. Since everything's already been the level of, you don't have to really necessarily go through awkward phases of shit. It's just
right,
like, nope.
Yeah, there's no need. There's just, all they need to do to start is to show you that shot of him and Uncle Ben, and you like, I understand this.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a Spider-Man film.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps several, because they won't stop. And like, just the sudden casual introduction of MJ, and then like, you immediately get into like, she knows Pete's Spider-Man. They're broken up right now, but they're not, like, irrevocably broken up. So there's some awkward exes flirting.
Mm-hmm.
Just because that's Peter in his everyday life.
Yeah.
You know, Obviously, Norman Osborn's not out of the way. Also, he's the mayor. Good. I assume that's a good take on the time Norman Osborn was fucking president. Wild. By the way, I also love that because of the way the licensing works, they can acknowledge other Marvel stuff. Like,
yeah, the fucking Avengers Towers is just fucking in there.
Yeah, and at another point, I was doing a science quest for Harry that was like help the pigeons, and I think Pete comments, "Avengers, bet the Avengers never have to deal with pigeon poop." You know, just casual nods. The landmarks are things like Alias Investigations, or the Wakanda Embassy.
Yep.
Where Pete quips if you take that picture. I wonder if King T'Challa got bit by a radioactive panther.
So good.
Which, by the way, I can imagine that panel in the comics of Spider-Man just running into Black Panther and being like, "By the way, Your Majesty, been thinking." Like it's got a great feel to it, and it really, because it feels like New York, but also it feels like Marvel, and I love it a lot. Like I said, it immediately takes me back to the feelings about like Wild Talents and like how that works to like be established and like be part of this living city thing.
Yeah.
Because that was a big way of how I handled our campaign. Was you guys were in a city, you guys were started as low level vigilantes, like origin story type shit, and then built up, and it was really interesting to see. Yeah, Spider-Man's definitely... Actually, I honestly, I think the strongest comparison is Spider-Man is really like Batman.
Oh, yeah.
Because while Pete's thing is that he's perpetually broke, both of them are very smart, and they like to actually do investigation and problem solving. They're constantly like upgrading and developing, and also they've got the best rogues galleries. Fight me.
Yeah.
Like, God, the Spider-Man villains are so iconic. At one point, they were planning on making a movie just about them.
Yeah, wasn't
like,
that Sinister Six or something?
Yeah, they were going to do Sinister Six as a standalone film. Like, those guys are so iconic. They talk about, like, you've already fought Vulture. You run into Shocker, who's done some upgrades.
I mean, the game starts with a fight with fucking Kingpin.
Yeah, the game starts with, and usually that would be the climax, right?
Yeah.
But the game starts with a fight with Kingpin. Also, by the way, I just want to say, as a character, love fucking Kingpin.
Oh, he's good.
Just because I love how sassy he is and everything, but also I love that he's just a big chungus of a man. Like, he doesn't have superpowers. He's just fucking swole, and he's fucking bodying Spider-Man constantly. Like, I think he bum rushes you through, like, a brick wall at one point, and then you're just like, yeah, it's Kingpin.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big tough boy. Well, okay, Spider-Man is a bunch of terrible rogues, but
so
everybody
Batman.
Everyone has bad guys. Like, there are some Batman guys you don't talk about, but
B-list
Spider-Man has
wild.
such a diverse roster of iconic villains that you're like, I know those guys.
I mean, you being an established comic book franchise, you're gonna get some fucking weird ones. Like,
Sorry, somebody was like talking about Kingpin's broken bones, and I just had to type in chat. His bones are swole. He lifts. Kingpin lifts.
Yeah, but like, we're gonna talk about like Rogues Gallery. Fucking Batman's B-list and C-list. I think he might even have a fucking D-list. Fuck.
Batman absolutely has a D-list, yeah. And to be fair, so does Spidey. But there's a big long list of Spider-Man villains to pick from, and you can get some real fun choices with those guys. Who get referenced a lot. Like, one of the collectibles I found was Chunk of the Rhino's horn. At one point in a podcast, Jay Jonah talks about Scorpion.
Oh, just wait on that. Just wait on that.
Yeah, I feel like that was a slow pitch, because he talked about how he helped fund Scorpion as an anti-Spider-Man Spider-Man. And it didn't work out. How was I supposed to know he was crazy?
It's totally not my fault. Like, nothing ever is. Way to go, JJ.
And I mean, I appreciate that J. Jonah Jameson is not a complete rambling lunatic. Like, yes, he is, but also he raises good points. Like, he is absolutely right when he calls you out that, like, okay, yeah, but because Spider-Man took down Fisk and, like, left all this room, there's still going to be a lot of chaos in the streets, right? Like, I'm not saying Fisk was a good guy, but I've been in New York a long time. I'm J. Jonah Jameson. I know I'm going to tell you there's going to be a shitstorm, and it's technically all Spider-Man's fault. And he's not wrong.
Also,
I mean, like, on the other hand, I do think that, like, some of that's plot convenience, because I gotta think that, like, yes, criminals are dumb, but criminals are also smart. I gotta think, like, some of these fools would not be like, oh, Wilson Fisk's out of the way. I should rob a jewelry store. Spider-Man definitely can't take me down. Like, unfortunately, even after 8 years to keep the game challenging, mooks still have to think they can take Spider-Man
for some odd reason,
which gets joked about a lot. I got joked about a lot in the stream, and I still think it. Like when you're playing base missions, and one guy's like, "Fist said to fuck you up," and he's like a bare-fisted mook wearing like attack vest, and you're like, "Dude, you're dead. I'm gonna do a finisher on you, and I'm gonna break your spine into 50 million pieces." That's also another thing I joked about a lot on stream. When you do like takedowns and stuff, those guys are dead. Those guys are in the hospital forever. Like.
Yeah,
I know you get to beat them up and take them down non-lethally, but, like, holy shit.
Well, actually, I like the effort they put on that. Like, anytime you knock a fucking dude off a cliff, they automatically just release a string and get, like, zapped to the nearest building.
Yeah, honestly, those guys are probably the best off, because if you do, like, finishers on some of these guys, you're doing, like, fucking leg drops and flips and shit. Like, if those guys are, like... I did a neck drop. Like, I flipped a guy over and dropped him on his head. I'm like, that guy's dead. That was the street. You're Spider-Man. Like, his spine exploded. Boogeyman Super Funk. I love it, though. Everybody's got that problem, though. Like you can pull it up with especially for that older shit, right? Like, Silver Age stuff. You can pull that same problem with Superman and Batman. But, like, I think the thing is that he's got, you know, he's got a diverse enough roster you can really rely on. And like I said earlier, this game really plays with that. Like, as an audience member, you meet Dr. Otto Octavius. He's doing science on prosthetic limbs and man-machine interface, and you're like, this will go horribly awry.
Mm-hmm.
You know it will. Like, honestly, the fact that it's so well known...
It's the train wreck you're watching. You're just like...
Yeah. Like, honestly, this is why the subversion in Spider-Verse works so well. Because it is actually, like, out of the fucking blue, and you're like, wait a second.
Actually,
but even then, it's funny. Peter B catches it. He's like, "Hey, your name wouldn't happen to be Dr. Octavius, would it?"
No, she's like, "Do your friends call you like Ock or something?" No, they call me Liv or something like that. I can't remember what it was. But...
Yeah, he's like, "Your friends don't happen to call you Doc Ock, do they?" And she's like, "No. My friends call me Liv. My enemies call me Doc Ock." And you're like, "But he got it right. Yeah. Peter B got it." About the same time the audience gets it, and it's like, "Yeah, no, that's good. They did some good stuff there, and they do the same kind of." Things that iconic, like fucking Norman Osborn sweeps in, and you're like, oh, this motherfucker. Also, how every weird noxious chemical that are in Harry's subquest is bright green for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, gee, I wonder. Will Green Goblin be in this? I don't actually know. Nobody spoil me if he is.
No spoilers.
I know Norman Osborn is, but you never know if they'll actually go the full Green Goblin route. I know because that was spoiled by trailers. I know Negative Man is in it, but also, you know. We'll see. The demons thing, by the way, that's very interesting for us, again, because of Wild Talent's background. These guys in Chinese demon masks running around.
Motherfucking
Fang. That was literally one of our supers, was that guy. Like, he was vaguely a good guy.
Vaguely.
Fang was definitely an anti-hero. And he got better. Honestly, and these were some of the parts you weren't there for, Lucky, but honestly, our squad started out with a little bit of a god complex.
Of course.
Like between Fang and Vera, there was a lot about it. Like, we can do no wrong. We're heroes. We'll just fix those guys if they explode. It took a while to sink in that, like, oh yeah, like disintegrating people and like punching their lights out and stuff, and causing the old ultra violence is not always productive. Which developed into a thing that kept growing is the idea of using non-lethal abilities, like developing stunning powers and attacks to like bring people down without grossly crippling them.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a thing that kept into the era when Zeus got on the team.
Yep.
That could be another game we could do though after Star Wars. We could do some Wild Talents. I thought about doing the Genesis Supers, but I really like the granularity of Wild Talents. Though.
I just like Wild Talents because you can literally make fucking anything.
Yes, and I would do a fucking modern remake timeline, like revamp our Metahuman Renaissance timeline.
Well, like I said, put that on your fucking to-do list and see how far you get before we actually get to the next game.
Yeah, and like figure it out. Like take some elements from the campaign we did, but not necessarily keep all the future plans I had, because I had like scoping up to like world-ending threats and cosmic level threats in the back of my head. I would probably skip out on some of that to just make sure we reset to an adventure-heavy world. Because that's the thing comics do all the time is they reboot. We would do a comic book reboot of our Wild Talent set. That's fair, Dallas. If you could make the time, because you're busy, I wouldn't mind, because I know you're a soups guy. I don't know how well you'd fit in Wild Talents because I know you're usually used to mutants and masterminds, but it would be interesting. Metahuman Renaissance was my home setting, by the way. I built it to be a kitchen sink. So it's literally like, so superheroes were invented in the 40s, which is like in real life. And then they went through phases. There was like a cool golden age where, much like golden age comics, like, yeah, no, they were fighting Nazis and it was very serious and stuff. And then it got into the silver age where shit got weird. And then around the 70s and into the 80s, it got really weird and edgy. There was a lot of big scary stuff that happened as our first generation of heroes kind of died out because, guess what? Giving yourself superpowers is not a foolproof experience. Mm-hmm. This is why modern supers have beta testing, or don't. Our own vigilantes, our own masks sometimes skip the beta test phase. And kind of then it eventually turns into a modern era of comics where, like, basically there's been a big reset. A lot of your old generation of heroes have either retired or fucked off to space or whatever. There's some limited, government allied heroes, but kind of working on our own thing. I would honestly probably go for a bit of a take some inspirations from My Hero Academia, with like the way it does its kind of like agency system.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Like instead of doing a big singular league, just like do no, heroes can be like, they can get certified as like agents and get basically brought in crises and stuff to handle appropriate levels of crimes. It doesn't necessarily negate the police, but it means that you can use your powers to help people and not get fucking arrested all the time. And honestly, what would probably be is like Noble Society, kind of, that was the name of their group, kind of helped co-pilot the agency model and set it up. But obviously, because it's a reboot, they will all have since retired somehow or something, gone on with their lives. I imagine Zeus probably took all his money and probably started making doing boutique gadget design or something, or running the nightclub.
Yes, Lucky does as Lucky always does. He gets a lot of money, steals a lot of stuff, and starts taking a bunch of property.
Yeah, I mean, I joked about that in our stream, and because Pete beats up a bunch of drug dealers and they have their bags on the floor, and I'd be like, see, if this was my Wild Talents party, they would have taken that duffel bag full of money.
Yeah, yep.
Because they got to pay rent too.
Yep. Peter, stop taking the high ground so often. Fuck.
Like, nobody's gonna care, Pete, if you took that stack of hundos to pay your rent. Like, it's all dirty money anyway. It just goes back into the system with the police. I don't really know what police do with confiscated money after it. I'm sure it goes to the government eventually, but it's still not crazy useful right away. You could take a stack, nobody will care.
Oh, let's see. If I was to play Wild Talents again, I'd either make Point Man, which would just be, because I joked about that on Fear, and I actually think it'd be cool. Or I make some anime-ass character.
Both of which, by the way, work perfectly in Wild Talents and in Metahuman Renaissance. Like I said, kitchen sink. There were fucking 3 alien invasions. There was the whole hidden world of magic that came out and being like, yeah, no, magic is real. Magic shit happens.
There's
and
genetic,
there was
genetic experiments. Fucking
yeah, there was all kinds of technology, and there were basically waves. Like, we started with super soldier serums, super soldier drugs. That was a first gen, and then those evolved, and then it got into yeah, we can just skip that. We can just edit your genes. But if you want to take super soldier drugs, you can. We've perfected that technology.
Actually,
to the point with where that was the thing you guys fought, was at multiple times you fought super soldier drug dealers who were like, oh yeah, no, these guys are just selling super strength serum doped with heroin on the street. So have fun with that, guys. I
actually have I've had I said, Point Man. I always Lucky always has concepts for characters in mind, and actually, before I got on to Point Man, which who knows I might do, the actual current concept I want to do, this is the anime fucking one, is I wanted to do a basically AI/robotic interface of an interdimensional ship that's stuck on Earth and is searching for a way to, regain its power and systems and get the fuck out. So basically, it would be I think it was Super Science Origin or something. I can't remember. But basically, all of the attacks is it just basically summons, opens up a small teleportation to the fucking ship systems and blasts people with them, or other such effects. And I was like, yeah. Point Man would just be fucking Point Man from Fear, which is, yeah, I can just slow down time slightly and be really good at shooting people.
which is pretty easy to do. Take
Yeah.
some hyper skill or stat dice,
Yeah.
and then have a time slowing is probably a multiple actions power. Just
Yes,
get
it
more
is.
shit done.
Yeah. But like, I'm really leaning towards being weird fucking anime because I like being weird fucking anime.
And yeah, and it all works.
It all works, and that's the thing. And that's why I like Wild Talents because, as I said, like normally you would be like, how do I do this? And Wild Talents is like, I totally know how I'm gonna fucking do this. Oh man, that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, Wild Talents, the I believe it's the Essentials version, but the stripped down version of the rules, which is just the mechanics, because there are some example settings which are interesting, but I've never tried them. But in the Essentials version, which is just the rules, they literally teach you in the power generation session how to turn off the sun.
Yes.
Like they tell you how to build a power that it will give you 2 hard dice. You can do it with a starting EXP character with the lowest tier of EXP. You can make a character who can automatically turn off the sun. And then they're like, okay, congratulations, you can turn off the sun. What do you do with this? What are you going to do? Are you going to actually turn off the sun? That would be bad. You don't have any immunities to being turned off the sun. What do you do with that power? Like, which is kind of the caveat of the setting is like you can do literally anything with these powers if you're creative enough and if your GM goes with it. And the power construction is basic. Like one of my favorite it's a flaw, but one of my favorite extras to slap on there is if then.
If then
like,
is great. I fucking
because
love
if then can be as simple as I have to say the magic words, or as complex as like I can only use this power after I have used another power on a guy, right?
Yeah, no, that's like to explain if then, it's literally an if then condition. Like if you use this power, then something happens. And like I said, it's I think it's only a -1, but
yeah. But it's so simple to be like, oh, I'm making a magic character. If then verbal and somatic components, which means that hey, if you're tied up or you're gagged, you can't do it. Well, I mean, it would be set in probably 2020, but it would be set in the timeline.
I mean, when did we set Wild Talent? Was that like 2014?
2012.
2012. That was. It was. Yeah, it's been 8 years. Shit's happened. People have moved on with lives.
And like, you know, we'd be doing the soft reboot type stuff, so we could fiddle with some of the exact city of things and timelines. But yeah. So there's a whole kind of thing.
Yeah, I should. Now I'm gonna go look up Wild Talents and I'm gonna start brainstorming.
It's a fun brainstorm too.
Like I said, Lucky will just make characters just to make fucking characters. That's how it is with Legend of Five Rings. That's how it is with Getting Sakai. I'll do it again. But yeah, we're talking about Spider-Man and Supers. Like I said, I don't want to really spoil anything because Spider-Man is all just good
like
fun.
a fun trip.
But
yeah, I'm in it. I want to go back to it right now. I played a little last night. But we're not gonna, because after this we're gonna boot up Civ.
Yeah, we are.
I gotta get some dinner though first.
Yeah, me same.
Well, we're over 3 hours. Yeah, other than just I have general enjoyment of Spider-Man. I don't know. I might stream that again on Tuesday if I don't have any better ideas.
Yeah.
Because that was a pretty interactive stream. Like people seem to like talking about it and just chilling. And you really do have a lot of times to just like look at chat and say some shit while you're swinging from building to building. You know. I do not think, just because I've been busy with other stuff, like I had to take a couple days to really focus on FGO, for instance, and do some other stuff. I have not gotten as far. So I haven't gotten to Miles Morales yet. I'll be interested to try that. I've heard that really gives you more stealth options.
Look at this child! You can do it. I believe in you.
Oh, is that our bro? Our tiny bro, man?
That is our tiny bro, man.
So noble, so strong. Also, I love that Liddell just is like, I'm not fighting this child. Prince Sidon. Which rhymes with Gaston, so there is absolutely a folk song about that.
Oh, that was the wrong one.
Anyway, yeah. But yeah, like, I've heard that Miles Morales, you know, like, that offers a lot of stealth options, which is a thing I appreciate. Because you can kind of be stealthy as Spider-Man, but usually when the game wants you to be stealthy, and there's really not anything to do, like, if you lose stealth, well, that's it. You're no longer stealthy.
Yeah, no, I got pretty good at doing stealth, but honestly, it's usually just more effective just to beat everyone up.
Yeah, but it seems like with the way the gameplay they've previewed with the Miles Morales is, like, he can cloak mid-fight, and you can actually, like, I want to disengage and re-engage from stealth, basically. Like, as opposed to with vanilla Spider-Man, it's very one-sided. Like, yeah, sure, if you have a little bit of patience, you can just take out everybody sneakily. Cool. Required for some gameplay parts, and can be fun if you're like, I don't really feel like fighting all 50 of these guys right this second. Let's at least narrow down the field before we get into it. But once you get into it, it's like, well, they've seen you now. Good luck. But yeah. Well, I think that's a good wrapping up point.
Yeah, no, I think I'm done.
All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this, our first experimental What's Up live stream.
Yeah. I'll check the numbers.
Got the audio recording. I'll edit it out real quick, get some food. And post the audio to patrons if you want to catch this in a slightly more compact audio form. I don't think we really had any background noise, but we already breathed at some point or coughed.
I breathe and cough. I'm sorry. I'm only... Oh.
He's only human, after all. Rip. But is it your first game over?
Yeah,
in 3
it's my
hours?
first game over.
Makes sense. It was that boy, Linnell.
No,
those guys are fuckers.
Well, those guys are fuckers. Let me switch to Link.
But yeah, so we'll go ahead and wrap up, and I'll do the whole outro thing. I'm gonna stretch, gonna flex. Been sitting here a while.
Mm-hmm.
And so, hey, be sure to give the show a like if you liked it, if you haven't already. I do see quite a few likes already preemptively. That's a good thing about streams. Get those preemptive likes in.
Mm-hmm.
If you have any comments on the final version of this, if you're watching our rollback, you can leave those in the comment section down below. Our Discord link is also, by the way, in the video description and our channel. You want to join our Discord, get some commentary out there, hang out with us, get some people chat over there. And obviously, you can, thanks for those of you who showed up to comment live in the live chat. Had a great time.
Mm-hmm.
If you're new here, watching this video at any point, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, so you can always get our latest videos and see more of What's Up and Let's Talk FGO and other stuff. And also, even if you're subscribed, consider hitting that bell for notifications, so you always know when we post a new video or when we stream like this.
Yes.
Like, I know some people have been talking about maybe doing some consistent stuff. We'll probably continue to pre-schedule streams at least for this part. And, we'll be looking at the analytics to see how it goes.
Yep.
Tech-wise, it seemed pretty seamless.
Oh, that was...
Yeah, we were streaming. This was live the whole time. It was not a premiere.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a good idea to fire up those notifications. Lucky did include a live in the What's Up part, so maybe I should put a live in the thumbnail next time.
Maybe.
I just kit mashed.
I was considering fucking with the thumbnail. I was like, nah.
Well, the thumbnail has a very, very regular style, and we've heard people talk about how they like the thumbnails to stay consistent. So unless we have like a big tech upgrade, but I could put a live in there in big letters so people know that it's What's Up Live. So yeah, make sure to hit that bell for notifications so you always know we post a new video when we stream. Get those notifications straight to you. As we said at the start of the show, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can still get the audio version of this early for as little as $1 a month. Or well, not early anymore, I guess, but you can get the audio version after.
Mm-hmm.
And also, who knows, I don't know, they'll take a live stream. It's not over 4 hours, so it should process all right away, but sometimes YouTube's weird about that. Anyway, basically, peek behind the curtain, because this is a little bit of a non-standard outro. We're doing a new thing. I'm rolling audio right now. After we end this, I'm going to cut the audio. I'll edit it. It goes immediately after I finish editing it to patrons. No delay.
No delay.
So if you want to get that audio, like I said, $1 a month or $10 a year, because they do annual memberships, really helps us out and support us. That's the kind of stuff that's going to get me to buy that second monitor. So I can do more science and other fun things we're going to do in the future. And, be sure to check out Let's Talk FGO. That premiered today. Actually today, because we're streaming this bit. So check that out if you haven't already. It's long also. No, this is live and unedited, so this video is going to be slightly longer because it's the raw, but the audio will actually probably be shorter because I'm going to cut out some of that dead air.
Yes.
Because I know that the Let's Talk YouTube that played today is 3 hours and 18 minutes. Just squeaking out, so it's a big boy if you haven't got your fill of us.
Mm-hmm.
And be sure to tune in next week for new Let's Talk FGO, some other videos we're going to do, some future streams. Like I said, planning to do some probably some more Spider-Man. It's pretty fun. Doing a rodeo. Ride 'em, cowboy. And also, we're probably going to, unless this one does, like, somehow abysmally in the analytics, which I don't think it will. I mean, it's got pretty consistent concurrent viewers, got the watch times, all that stuff.
He's so precious.
Next time, we'll just have to try and wiggle some people out into some super chatto time.
Look at that fucking...
So we are live streaming. He's so adorably tiny. Look at his fat, rosy cheeks. Sorry, this is a live stream. You can see what I'm commenting on right now. But, yeah, be sure to stay tuned. We'll probably do this again next week, so we'll watch out for that.
Yep.
All right, so
He did
I'm
the
gonna.
slide! I can't.
Ding. Such a good boy. So I don't know when we want to go ahead and full blown cut it, but whenever you're ready, Lucky, to cull the audio, we're out, Ski.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you for showing up and have a good time. I'm Lucky. That's Omega, and we're out.
And we're stopped.